Good morning, Rose Dalton.
So a ghost walked into a bar and ordered a shot of vodka. The bartender said, "Sorry, we don't serve spirits here."
Oh.
Yeah. Right? Timeless.
Save that one for Halloween.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Yesterday's is in the Hall of Fame.
What was it?
A butcher backs up into a meat grinder.
Yeah, did you hear about the butcher who
and all of
backed
his
up?
troubles are behind him?
He got a little behind.
Behind in his work. That's almost as good as in 1980 when George Brett was going for the 400, a record in Major League Baseball's batting average. And he came down with apparently a severe case of the hemorrhoids. And they were saying that all of his troubles were behind him.
Oh.
He was one of the first people to popularize that donut.
Oh. Wait, that part's true?
I don't know about that. Were you supposed to sit on a donut or something?
No, the hemorrhoids?
Oh, yeah, no, he really did have hemorrhoids.
How does that become like common knowledge? Could we be like, hey, can we make something
You often wonder where the
pulled a
HIPAA laws are when it comes to Major League Baseball
That was
players.
1980.
Yeah. Speaking of baseball, did anybody see that play last night in the game? The Brewers end up losing 2-1 to the Dodgers late in the game, but it was the third inning or so, and the Brewers are in the field, and it's bases loaded, one out, and the Dodger player hits a fly ball to center field. The center fielder goes, bases are loaded, one out. The Brewer center fielder goes back to the wall, to the track, to the wall, reaches up. The ball hits his glove, bounces off of his glove, hits onto the fence, bounces up, and then he catches it. Okay? The runner on third starts to tag up. But as soon as he sees the center fielder juggling the ball, runs back to the base, is kind of caught between no man's land. The third base coach says, run, run, run. By that time, the Brewers get the ball in. They throw it to a play at the plate. The catcher, standing like a first baseman, catches the ball. He's called out. Then Contreras, the catcher, runs to third base because the guy on second didn't run to third, steps on third base. He's out again, double play.
Wow.
So the way it was ruled, it was not a catch since it hit the wall.
It's dead ball.
No, it's a live ball. It's like if it hit the ground.
Huh.
So it was a fly ball, a ground ball to center field at the fence, right?
So he didn't need a tag.
That is correct. It was a force play at home. That's why he didn't have to tag him. He didn't have to tag up, but he didn't have to tag him. So he was standing on home plate like a first baseman. He didn't have to tag him. The ball beat him. He's out. And the guy didn't run from second to third, runs on to third, touches the base. He's out, double play. It was wild. It was wild. We should get the call because the call on I guess that was TNT was actually pretty good. It was a crazy play. I've been watching baseball 58 years. I've never seen anything like that. And I mean there were a couple of things that I'd never seen before and a couple of things I didn't know before, but the umpires got it 100% right. So they went to the replay. And everything
was it challenged?
And everything was confirmed. And the umpire ran out to the outfield and was yelling, no, save, save, save. He didn't catch it. And it was sheer chaos on the bases because you had everybody sort of running. You had half the people running back, half the people running forward, the players running around. It was sheer chaos. It was baseball at its best. Anyway, Dodgers end up winning it anyway. But the guy saved a grand slam and then got a double play. The double play was scored 8, 4, 2, and then 2 unassisted at third base. So you don't often see a double play 8, 2, 8, 4, 2, 2. It was a pretty good one. Do you have the call?
So you said it was the third inning?
Yeah, it was the third inning.
All right, hang on. I'm
Yeah.
you have to every time I move up. There's
well,
an ad.
in rehearsal it worked better, but for some reason Rose wasn't here in rehearsal.
Sorry.
612 here, Big 550 KTRS. Jordana Miller is going to be joining us live from Jerusalem in about 8 or 9 minutes. Jim Ryan, this measles outbreak is just started in Texas, but that's not the only place it is. Jim Ryan's got the latest on that measles outbreak. Mike Dubusky's got a look inside IBM's new computer. Who's got an IBM, or dare we say an IBM compatible? We'll talk to Bob Ramsey about this. Antonio French is going to swing by. Angie Markaway is going to stop by. And then, of course, we'll take phone calls and text messages in the 9 o'clock hour.
All right, I have it.
Here you go. Here's that crazy play from last night. That was unbelievable. It was a crazy play.
Because nobody on base knew what to do.
Well, the umpire was yelling or signaling he didn't catch it. But by that point, you're thinking he's going to either catch it or it's a home run. You don't think he's going to hit it with his glove and bobble it and then catch it. It
hit the yellow line.
Yeah. So you kind of don't know what to. It was crazy, just crazy. And then the center fielder turns to the other outfielder after the play and mouths something very interesting, basically saying, and I'm cleaning it up for a family-run radio station, what the heck just happened? And he was in the middle of the play. He was in the play. He's like, what the heck just happened? It was really kind of funky. We'll check in with Bob Ramsey about that a little bit later on. 6:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul, did you see that play last night?
You know what? I was watching the Blues game.
Blues win.
Same here.
Blues showed up in Calgary, right?
Yeah, they did.
Calgary?
Calgary was Saturday. Last night was Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver. Okay. All right. So they showed up in Vancouver last night.
They showed up in Canada.
They showed up in Canada, which is nice. All right. Let's see if they allow them back into the country. They have all the proper paperwork. Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. There's an accident on eastbound 364 at Gudermuth. Otherwise, a few construction notes. One eastbound lane of 64 is closed between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 o'clock this afternoon. One northbound and one southbound lane of Tesson Ferry are closed between 270 and Butler Hill until 2 p.m. today for road work. And one eastbound lane of 64 will be closed over the Olive Clarkson exit from 9 in the morning until 3 this afternoon. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The warm pattern continues this week. More highs in the 80s. Normal will be near 70, but we're going to get to the low 80s for Tuesday. We'll start off at about 60 degrees. Mild morning, warms up quickly, a high of 82 and partly cloudy skies. Staying dry for Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Partly cloudy Wednesday, a low of 60 and a high of 81. That's the latest on the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Bowen Dental Care, BOAIN, Simply Secure Dentures. That's who you go to when you need a dentist. Now, look, when was the last time you were at the dentist? If you have a dentist and you're happy, fine. But many of us fall out of the habit of going to the dentist, right? Supposed to get our teeth cleaned once every 6 months. I go every, 4 months or 5 months or so. Nothing wrong with that. Dr. Bowen is great, family-run dentistry, teeth whitening, teeth cleaning, Invisalign. When I came to town, I didn't really have a dentist, and I fell out of the habit, and it's easy to do. You have dental insurance. You just sort of, well, I'll get around to it, right? Then, of course, you bite into a hard candy, and something cracks, and something breaks, and all of a sudden you got some teeth that get sore every time you're drinking something cold or hot. Then you go to Bowen Dental, and he takes care of it. 2 locations, Lee May Ferry Road in South County, Dunn Road in North County. Implants, dentists, lots of times just avoid implants. They don't want to deal with it. It's next level of service, and oftentimes many dentists in town send their dental implant patients to Dr. Bowen, which is why he opened up the second location down south in Lee May Ferry Road. So for all of your dental needs, including implants, at a fraction of what the corporate dentists will charge, BOAIN, simply securedentures.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net, 636-916-1122.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Elevate your home with stunning lighting from Metro Lighting.
Shopping for a gorgeous chandelier for your dining room?
Need a new table lamp?
Or lighting your entire dream home?
Our certified lighting specialists are here to help.
Locally owned with 6 convenient locations.
An amazing selection of lighting for any style and budget.
And all at the guaranteed best price.
And did you know?
Metro Lighting is a great source for furniture, art, and home decor too.
Metro Lighting.
Full of bright ideas for your home.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
Schrader Funeral Homes and Crematory, St. Louis's oldest family-owned funeral home, offering complete funeral, burial, and cremation services, including an on-site reception center and crematory. 150 years of serving St. Louis families. Visit them at schrader.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. bishopspost.com.
Live from Studio 550, this is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
The hostages have been returned. The speeches have been given. People have gone back. Now it's a new world in the Middle East. Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem. There's still a lot to be determined and a lot to deal with, Jordana Miller. Where do they start and what's the conversation now?
Right. First of all, you're right. I think some of the most critical issues lie ahead. And I feel that President Trump's already trying to, attack some of them, tackle some of them. I mean, what he did in Sharm last night, right? He didn't really need to go there to celebrate a deal that's already been signed and already implemented, right? With the release of the hostages yesterday, all 20 of them, Israel in kind returned, or released, I should say, about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. There is still an outstanding issue with the bodies of the hostages, which do include 2 Americans, and they have not all been returned. Only 4 of 28 were handed over by Hamas, so that's going to be a fight. But what President Trump did last night in Sharm in Egypt was to say to the regional partners, Egypt and the Emiratis and the Qataris and Turkey, right, and Jordan and some European countries, the French in particular, we all now need to work together to make a concrete plan to make sure Hamas doesn't come back, to invest money to rebuild Gaza, to have a governing council that is an interim government for the Gaza Strip, again, which is not Hamas, an international security force, which is not Hamas, right? And so I think he was already trying to, rally the coalition, this new coalition, and say there's a lot of tough work that lies ahead, and we've got to do it. And by the way, we know from leaked reports here in Israel that, for example, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, they're already looking at some of these critical issues, even at the new maps for Israel's next redeployment, right? Israel's still sitting on around 45% of Gaza's territory. They're not going to, they're going to stay there until some of these bigger issues are tackled, but where they will go next is already being decided, right? They have to pull back to the security buffer.
How open are some of these other countries like Egypt to sort of take the lead on all of this? Because they were very, they wanted nothing to do with Gaza and or Hamas beforehand. How willing will some of these countries be to sort of go in and get their hands dirty trying to clean it up?
Well, Gaza will be a great opportunity for the Palestinian people, for investors, and as a kind of starting point for building, right, the last pieces in a lasting peace here in the region between Israel and its neighbors. And everyone recognizes that, right? Hamas is an enemy of peace and stability in this region. They've never represented the Palestinian people. They were always a radical offshoot that, unfortunately, because the Palestinian Authority that was backed by the West became so corrupt and weak and really inefficient, Hamas grew in popularity, but it never represented the future for the Palestinian people. And I think all the people in the region recognize that, Hamas is an enemy of all of, it's an enemy in the region, and it will cause, upheaval and, and it will stand in between the United States and its relationships with Arab partners, right? So there is a motivation to take part in Gaza, both for political reasons and regional reasons and financial reasons.
Jordana, they also mentioned and floated the idea of the continuation of the Abraham Accords. How realistic is that, and what are some of the countries that might actually come to the table on something like this?
I mean, the Abraham Accords are alive and kicking, right? They're the normalization deal that was cut between Israel, brokered by President Trump in his first term, between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, Israel and Qatar, Israel and Morocco. That accord is strong and it has been very fruitful for both sides. Opening it up to other countries is absolutely a possibility. It's everything that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is working on for his future, for the state of Israel, and for his legacy. He wants Israel to have a normalization deal with Syria, with Indonesia, and of course with the Saudis. The Saudis is the big that would be the big group, win, if you will. That would be a game changer. But And there's been talks and movement behind the scenes with the Saudis for many years. And the question is, can it break out into the open now with a normalization deal? What stands in the way of that is the unresolved conflict with the Palestinians, which Israel is going to have to resolve to move forward in this region.
What happens with Hamas, whatever's left of Hamas, right? Iran is greatly weakened. Russia is dealing with Ukraine. What happens to Hamas? Hamas, is there anybody there left? Can they rebuild? Can they morph into something else? What are the thoughts there?
Well, Hamas's political leadership, right, the important 4 or 5 leaders are still alive, right? Israel failed to kill them in Doha. So they will, and by the way, they've been given immunity in this deal. They will have to, they will reconstitute. I mean, I think, first of all, Hamas's leaders, the military leaders that are still in Gaza, most of them are going to be shipped out. And the question is, and it's an important question, what will happen to Hamas? Are they going to continue to be the radical group on the edge, somehow in a fantasy world, believing they can somehow defeat the state of Israel and wipe it off the map? Are they going to stay in that place? I mean, they just, for those who believed in that kind of apocalyptic fantasy of the Arab world that somehow Israel would be militarily defeated. I mean, they just had their greatest chance at that on October 7th, and they lost, right? They lost big time. The Iranians lost, Hezbollah lost, even those that were in Syria lost with Assad's fall. And that whole, what the Israelis call that ring of fire, right? The axis of evil, if you will. They lost right now. And are they going to give it up, or are they going to still harbor the fantasy to one day defeat Israel, which, I think most people think is not ever going to happen.
Yeah, Jordana Miller, we'll leave it there. Great stuff, as always. Try and get some sleep. Historic week for you. Thanks for all your insight, as always. Thanks for checking in.
Talk soon.
Jordana Miller, ABC News correspondent in Jerusalem, has been with us for a long time and been a great resource for us. Stay right there. Jim Ryan's going to join us in a couple minutes. We'll get the latest on the measles outbreak and where it goes from here. 8:30, right on the nose. Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. There's an accident on eastbound 364 at Gudermuth in Cottleville, blocking the 2 right lanes with emergency vehicles on the scene. The estimated clearance time is 6:50. Eastbound 64 is congested in Lake St. Louis. And a couple of construction notes. One eastbound lane of 64 is closed between 22nd Street and 6th Street until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And one northbound and one southbound lane of Tesson Ferry are closed between 270 and Butler Hill until 2 this afternoon for road work. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk weather. By the way, no mail yesterday. Christopher Columbus Day. Daddy, what is Christopher Columbus Day? I said to her, we're celebrating when Christopher Columbus landed in the West Indies. Why, Daddy? I was like, that I can't answer for you, kid. That one, I don't have the answer for. 83 degrees today, partly cloudy with a high of 83, some winds and some clouds, but no real chance of rain. Overnight tonight, low of 60. Tomorrow, 83. Thursday, 84. Right now, it's 63 at 6:31. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russian forces have launched powerful glide bombs and drones against Kharkiv and hit a hospital. Officials said that the attack on Ukraine's second largest city wounded 7 people and forced the evacuation of 50 patients at the hospital. Some homes were ordered evacuated in wildfire-scarred Los Angeles neighborhoods as Southern California was hit by a rare October storm that was expected to pummel the region with heavy rain, high winds, and possible mudslides. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass said during a news conference Monday night that she was very concerned about the weather and explained that strike teams, rescue teams, and helicopters were all ready to respond. In local headlines, former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan has begun his 7.5-year prison sentence in a federal bribery scheme. Madigan reported to prison yesterday. And the city of Manchester has been recognized as one of Missouri's most neighborly cities for 2026. The honor was awarded by the University of Missouri Extension and the Hopeful Neighborhood Project. Manchester joins Springfield, Fremont Hills, Excelsior Springs, Houston, and Lee's Summit as cities that exemplify neighborly excellence across Missouri. 61 degrees. Time now is 6:32. I'm Rose Dalton. KTRS News.
All right, let's talk 6:30 here, Big 550 KTRS. I said 8:30 on the nose. I meant 6:30 on the nose. But I was
Did I say 6:30?
No, you said 6:30. I said 8:30, but I was referring to the people on the West Coast.
Sure.
Or the East Coast.
You gotta
or like
everybody.
Newfoundland. Yeah.
The Newfies.
The Newfoundland. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Johnny Londoff, Chevrolet. Let's go buy a car with a digital readout for you. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Look, have you been to londoff.com recently? It's a great website, great resources for you. You're looking for a vehicle. You can go to the building and lot and kick the tires, or you can go to londoff.com and see every single car that's on the building and lot at 2 locations. Of course, the Autoplex and, of course, Washington Elizabeth exit. Every single car that's on the lot is there, and every single car that is going to be on the lot is there. You can see pictures, you can see designs, colors, all the features and everything else. It's a great website. You can do most of everything online, but I like to go into the store and see the car, maybe even take a test drive, go see for yourself. And whether it's a brand new Chevy, maybe it's a pre-owned vehicle, maybe it's one of those late model SUVs they've got, maybe it's something else, maybe it's a car Bravo that comes with extra warranty and better financing and more assurances. At Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, they've got cars, and they have customer service, and they've got service departments. So if you're looking for a family to buy a car from, none better than the first family of Chevrolet, Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. 80-plus years they've been doing this. It's in their DNA. They know how to do it, and they know how to do it right, and they'll make sure you are satisfied, because you don't last 80 years in the car business through all the ups and downs and ins and outs unless you've been doing it right all these years. So you're buying a car, Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. That's where it starts. Londoff.com. Together, let's drive. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
6:35 here, Big 550 KTRS. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Jim, this measles outbreak started in West Texas, but it has grown and become spread to other states. What's going on?
Well, sure, and it's unlikely that the West Texas measles outbreak, which, by the way, is over now, is responsible for the other outbreaks around the country. Now, could it be, or could there be people who were in West Texas, went to other states and took the measles with them? Potentially, but they're kind of isolated, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is finding these outbreaks are happening this year at a pace we haven't seen in 25 years. In 2000, of course, McGraw, measles was labeled eradicated. United States was the first country to do that. You know, the vaccines had meant that about 95% of people, and that equates to herd immunity, had been vaccinated and therefore were protected. And so while you had 1 or 2 cases pop up, measles was vanquished. Not so now. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports an average of 27 new measles cases each week across the country since late August. 1,500 cases so far this year. About half of those were the West Texas measles outbreak.
Yeah, let's go back to the West Texas for a second. If the outbreak is officially over, what were the final numbers? How many people got sick? How many people died?
795, I think, was the number of people who got sick. 99 people were hospitalized. We had 2 children, 2 kids under 10 years old who died. There was also a man, an adult, in New Mexico, just over the line, the state line from where this outbreak was going on here. He, too, is thought to have died from the same outbreak. So 2, maybe 3 people killed by the measles outbreak here.
Okay, that's in West Texas. Where are some of these newer outbreaks happening?
Well, it's sort of scattered around the country. Some states have. I was looking at Kansas this morning. They've got an outbreak going on there. Utah has its own. Missouri, if these numbers are accurate and they're updated, you've got 7 cases so far detected, confirmed across Missouri. None there in St. Louis. They've been in Taney County, New Madrid County, Cedar, and in fact 4 cases there in Cedar County. So it's still scattered around a bit there, and numbers are fairly low.
Yeah, so I'm sure the officials and the experts say once you have 1, can you plan on having more? Once you have 5, can you plan on having more? What are some of those numbers, and how worried are some of these officials?
Well, they are concerned, and specifically in Missouri, folks are concerned about that if you have 1 case and that person is in an environment where not a lot of people are vaccinated, then it can start to spread. That's what we saw in West Texas. You know, that could be kind of the blueprint of how this thing starts and how it spreads. It began in a Mennonite community out there in West Texas. Mennonites don't generally vaccinate their kids. They don't believe in it, etc. And so they have exemptions against vaccination for their kids before they go to kindergarten, or they send them to private schools. And so, you know, that's sort of how we saw that blossom and spread around the state of Texas. So,
Speaking of vaccines, sorry, Jim. Speaking of vaccines, is the CDC saying these outbreaks are in places where people have broke out with measles who have or haven't been vaccinated? Have they commented on that in any way?
CDC says that about 98%, it's either 95 or 98% of the cases involving people with measles were in unvaccinated people. So while there is this suspicion around about the vaccine, that number is hard and fast and coming from the CDC. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, the head of the Health and Human Services, is encouraging people to get vaccinated. His position is that government shouldn't require it, but he still says that people should get the MMR vaccine.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, thanks for checking in as always.
Right.
You got it. Jim Ryan. By the way, the CDC confirmed 44 cases of outbreaks, 41 states where they've had measles outbreaks. The agency defines an outbreak as 3 or more cases. The vast majority of the people were unvaccinated. 20% have been children under the age of 5. About 1 in 8 measles cases have resulted in hospitalization. In terms of full disclosure, speaking of vaccinations, I got my flu shot yesterday. And I got my COVID shot yesterday. I got 2
shot?
of them. No, it's 2 shots.
Okay.
2 shots.
In the same arm?
Same arm, 2 shots, same visit.
Wow.
Walked into a pharmacy, walked up to the counter. I said, I'd like my flu shot and my COVID shot. Answered a couple questions, waited 3 minutes. The man came out and said, Mr. Milhaven? I said, yes. Rolled up my sleeves, sat down, 1 shot, 2 shots, put some Mutant Ninja Teenage Warrior Band-Aids on me, and I was out the door.
Nice.
I am feeling a little stuffed up this morning. They say, if you get the COVID vaccine, sometimes you get a little stuffed up the next day. So I am feeling a little stuffed up. But there you go, in terms of full disclosure.
Microsoft knows exactly where you are at any given time.
Yep.
I didn't put the USB port in this chip.
Oh, sure.
It's a USB-C.
You got the outdated one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting my ivermectin shot next week for ticks. 8:41 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. What do we know about 3 Bay? We know that it's great barbecue. I was over there the other day, Woods Mill and Clayton Road. I didn't stop by, but I drove by. If you look real close at Woods Mill and Clayton Road in that gas station, there is a sign that says 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. It's not very well placed. Matter of fact, they're doing some construction work on that corner, and some of the big cranes are sort of blocking the sign or that big van that says 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. So you kind of have to know where you're going. And isn't that the case with life in general? You kind of need to know where you're going to have a clue. Well, look, you want good barbecue, you are officially in the know now that you know about 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Woods Mill and Clayton Road, in the back of that gas station, is 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. 10 years, going on 11 years, believe it or not. They've been advertising on the show for 3 years, so they were 8 years. Now they're, 10, 11 years? You don't survive 11 years in a gas station selling barbecue unless you're really good at it. Does catering, DoorDash, Dine In. Did I mention catering? Go in, you see a cross-section of society because everybody loves good barbecue. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Don't forget about the bakery. 3baybarbecueandbakery.com. Woods Mill, Clayton Road, inside the gas station there. We'll see you there. 3baybarbecueandbakery.com.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
St. Louis Union Station is adding to the family fun with 3 new rides in the outdoor wheel park. The Flying Louie is a swashbuckling pirate-themed ride that swings to 42.5 feet. The Locomotion is a train-themed roller coaster in the wheel park, and the Wave Swinger is a classic swing ride modeled after the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Plan your next visit to St. Louis Union Station to enjoy the new attractions with your family. For more info and tickets, go to stlouisunionstation.com.
Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. Eastbound 64 is closed between Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Route N due to an accident with traffic jammed back to I-70. The closure estimated to last 1 hour. There's an accident on eastbound 364 past Gudermuth in Cottleville, blocking the 2 right lanes with emergency vehicles on the scene. Estimated clearance time is 6:50. And northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless. This traffic report is brought to you by Lion's Choice. Say howdy to the new Southwest Cheddar Melt. Your choice of roast beef, ham, or turkey with melted cheddar cheese, crispy jalapenos and onions, and zesty Southwest sauce. Available now. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The warm pattern continues this week. More highs in the 80s. Normal will be near 70, but we're going to get to the low 80s for Tuesday. We'll start off at about 60 degrees. Mild morning, warms up quickly, a high of 82 and partly cloudy skies. Staying dry for Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Partly cloudy Wednesday, a low of 60 and a high of 81. That's the latest on the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, does anybody have Apple TV? And then you have Apple TV Plus. I never really quite understood the difference between Apple TV and Apple TV Plus. Was Plus the streaming service?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where Severance is.
Gotcha. Well, they're dropping the Plus.
It's just Apple TV.
Now it's just Apple TV, which I never called it Apple TV Plus to begin with, but they're dropping the plus sign.
Yes.
So next time you turn on your TV, there's no plus sign. Don't freak out. It's going away.
They're minusing the plus.
Now, let's talk about Michael's Baths. That was a nice line. Michael's Baths has been a sponsor of the show for a couple of years now. Nanny approved. He went out to the nanny's house, and the nanny called me afterwards and was raving about Michael's Baths. So much so, I was like, you don't rave that much about me. She said, I know. Let me tell you more about Michael's Baths. Then I looked up, and my neighbor was using Michael's Baths. And I asked my neighbor, hey, how'd it go? Raving about Michael's Baths again. So, look, here's the deal. I'm about to call Michael's Baths. I need a makeover on one of my bathrooms. And it's affordable, it's stylish, and you know it's going to be done right. And when it's all said and done, Michael is going to charge you, my neighbor, my nanny, and me 30 to 50% less than the competitors. So if you'd like to pay 30 to 50% more, well, be my guest. Would you like to pay 30 to 50% less for the same quality, assuming it's the same quality, assuming it's the same craftsmanship, assuming it's the same style and design? Well, fine. Or call Michael's Baths, 30 to 50% off, plus, as if you need more of an incentive, they'll throw in a free shower door or $500 off a bathroom remodel. That's a pretty sweet little deal. If you're a veteran, they got all sorts of grants through the VA that can help you. So if you're a veteran or non-veteran, Michael's Baths is who you call to redo your bathroom. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
Don't miss Straight Talk on Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Join this dynamic father-daughter duo every Saturday morning for an entertaining and intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing. From decades of financial planning expertise combined with a deep knowledge of healthcare benefits, Aaron and Jeff will give you the Straight Talk on Retirement every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Take advantage by becoming a Schneider driver. By driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy during the holiday season and throughout the new year. Plus, as a Schneider driver, you'll have access to top quality driver support and newer equipment spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Don't wait. Get a jump on 2026 by exploring jobs in your area today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio, proud supporter of breast cancer awareness and KTRS Pink. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality reality with Anne Marie Design Studio.
It's time for the popular Blust Jewelers annual Ladies Party, supporting breast cancer awareness, October 23rd through the 25th at the Blust Jewelers on Manchester Road in De Pere. Up to 50% off regular prices on select items. Wear pink and get an additional 10% off. Enter a drawing to win one of several gift certificates, and a portion of the sales will help breast cancer survivors. Enjoy refreshments, get a free gift with purchase, and most importantly, help support breast cancer awareness. Details at blustjewelers.com.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
$6:52 here, Big 550 KTRS. Your alarm's going off. You're dragging your sorry backside to work on a Tuesday, and you'd much rather do a million other things. Well, while you're doing that, remember today that James Franklin, the football coach for Penn State, was fired on Saturday.
Oh, no.
Yes. Apparently, it was the final straw. He's lost a number of games, including now losing 3 in a row. He lost to winless UCLA after being a 25-point favorite. So they called him in and said, "You're done. Beat it." However, his buyout includes them paying him for the remainder of his 10-year contract for $50 million.
Oh, I don't feel bad for him anymore.
But that doesn't set the record. Remember, James Franklin was fired on Sunday. That's the second largest buyout in the history of college football. The largest buyout was Jimbo Fisher of Texas A&M. When they fired him in 2023, they had to pay him $76 million not to coach his football team. I mean, seriously.
What about firing the people that make those deals? Why?
How about...
Aren't these state schools, by the way?
Yeah, well,
Why?
Yeah.
So you literally are paying someone now, like this school's going to pay this guy $50 million for nothing.
That is correct.
For absolutely nothing.
That is correct.
Now, can he, and I don't know why he would want to, but like, can he get another job in between and still collect?
Yeah, he'll
double,
get.
So there's no clause in this.
Nope.
In this,
no, they owe him. They owe him, and they're going to pay him. They owe him, and they're going to pay him. No, a couple years ago, Nebraska fired Scott Frost. They had to pay him $15 million. And here's how bad they wanted him out. If they would have waited 2 weeks, they would have saved like half the money, but they couldn't even wait 2 weeks. So they fired him 2 weeks early and had to pay him the full $15 million as opposed to only like $8 million or something.
So they just figure that if he stayed, that he would cost them the same amount, if not more money, because he's such a bad coach.
You'll have to ask them why they do what they do.
There's an actuary somewhere that gave them the numbers.
I've never had a job where they say, "We are so excited for you to be here, and we want you here. We've done a nationwide search. We think you're the best person for the job. We want you here. We're going to pay you all this money." Great. One thing. I want a 10-year deal, and when you fire me, I want every single penny you owe me. Perfect. Let's do it. Yeah. Who says that?
About my exit clause.
About my exit clause when you're firing me. How is that even possible? I don't get it. Now Eli Drinkwitz is on short list to go to Florida. They're going to pay him $8 billion. Matt Rule, the coach from Nebraska, is now on the short list for Penn State. They got to buy him out. And then, there's some secretary at Penn State or there's some state employee in Pennsylvania or Florida saying, my health insurance is so much I can't even afford health insurance. Too bad. We got to pay the football coach who's not coaching.
Right.
We got to get ourselves a better football coach. The priorities are so out of whack. It's insane. Now, it's money generated by the football team. I understand that. It's money generated by TV rights, ticket prices and popcorn sales and beer sales and all those types of things. Players are getting paid now. Where did I see something? I saw reading something about this. Nebraska's got a hard time competing with some of the other schools in the Big Ten because at Penn State they have a $40 million player budget.
That's it.
They have a budget. They have a They have a budget. Salaries for players who go to Penn State for $30 to $40 million.
How much did you make in college again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was a non-revenue generating sport, but I think I got meal money. I got $8 a day in meal money.
I was a female, so there's.
Oh yeah,
there's that.
You didn't have to eat.
There's that handicap.
You didn't have to eat. Imagine you're gone. I mean, how bad does this guy feel with $50 million coming to him?
Well, what's to stop you from doing a terrible job anyway? So then you can just lay on the couch eating bonbons and collect your $50 million.
7:58, Big 550, KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, take it away.
McGraw, an accident on eastbound 64 is blocking 2 lanes between Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Route N, with traffic backed up past I-70 onto Route 61. Traffic is getting by on the right shoulder at the crash site. An accident on eastbound 364 past Gudermuth in Cottleville has been cleared, and northbound 55 is stop and go at Bayless. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Apparently, Bill Belichick, they're still playing that dance because if he quits, they pay him $1 million. If they fire him, they pay him $30 million. So
he's not going to quit.
Right.
His girlfriend won't let him.
He's gonna force them to fire him because this thing's going south fast in North Carolina. So I don't get it, and I can't believe the governors of these states aren't chiming in saying, all right, hold on a second here. Do you really need a buyout of this much money? Why is it the only person who gets paid after they're fired is the head football coach? But if you passed a law, right? If you passed a law that said in a state you can't pay the football coach more than,
the governor.
Right, after you fire him, then they would say, oh, well, we never get a good coach. Are these coaches that good? How good can they be if you keep firing them? So how good of a coach can he be if you fired the guy? I don't know. You tell me. Every coach who's ever – Vince Lombardi, the greatest coach in the world, fired by the New York Giants. So you tell me how good these coaches are. 7 o'clock, KTRS, St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Day 14, government shutdown. No talks planned, no end in sight, and the business of the country stays on hold. As Congress gets paid, federal workers work without it, and some get fired. Private mom-and-pop businesses are looking for help, but can't find qualified people. A survey finds 32% of small businesses had job openings that they could not fill last month.
The National Federation of Independent Business has been conducting monthly member surveys for nearly 40 years. For September, the NFIB Small Business Optimism Index fell for the first time in 3 months, with 64% of owners reporting that supply chain issues are affecting their operations. One bright spot, most small businesses are still seeing their profits rise.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Wall Street is bracing for a lower opening. Uncertainty about tariffs with China. A new tariff takes effect today on imported kitchen cabinets, furniture, and lumber. Yesterday's euphoria is giving way to today's reality. Only the living hostages have been returned to Israel. There's no plan to govern Gaza or get Hamas to disarm.
Far more left on the to-do list than has been achieved, not to diminish those great achievements and those moments of joy, not least the dismantling, the disarming of Hamas, the reconstruction inside Gaza, all of that left to do. But right now, the Families and Hostages Forum, deeply unhappy, calling an emergency meeting, demanding the return of their loved ones, and still thousands of Palestinians under the rubble inside Gaza.
ABC's Ian Paddle. Meteorologist Ginger Z on a fast and furious storm out west.
A powerful storm known as a microburst tore through Tempe, Arizona.
More than 130 people now displaced.
I don't even know where I'm going to go.
The Phoenix Zoo saying no animals were hurt, but closed today after gusts of at least 60 miles per hour.
You're listening to ABC News.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
You're selling your home, and I want to buy it. This is Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I am ready to pay top dollar for your home. No contingencies, no inspections, no monkey business. I buy your home no matter the condition or location, and you walk away with cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867, 314-283-0867, or at robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
Catholic Mass is down in the Chicago diocese, says Cardinal Blaise Cupich, particularly in Latino communities, because he says people are afraid to come out. The Cardinal says the administration's aggressive tactics on immigrants are unnecessary and intolerable.
Their dignity as parents must be taken into account before they are ripped away in full sight from their children, who are now citizens, and hauled away as criminals.
The Cardinal calling it very sad that they are also afraid to go to grocery stores or get medical help. With the government shut down now in the third week, the U.S. is preparing to send tens of billions of dollars over to Argentina. ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill.
This is a highly unusual move, a $20 billion lifeline for Argentina's struggling financial system. The Treasury Secretary says it's meant to support a U.S. ally in South America, but Democrats up here on Capitol Hill pouncing, accusing the president of sending money abroad, but cutting services like Medicaid and food assistance here at home. Argentina's president set to meet with President Trump at the White House today.
Malaysia's foreign minister just said that President Trump is due to attend the signing of the ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia this month during the Asian summit in Kuala Lumpur. Word that the Prince and Princess of Wales are making a surprise visit to Northern Ireland today. Well, it was a surprise. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
61 degrees at 7:05. Here's what's happening now. Breaking news, firefighters are on the scene of a deadly house fire in South St. Louis. Fire officials say one person was killed in the fire along the 5900 block of Southwest. The fire has been brought under control. We'll bring you more information as details become available on this developing story. A woman is dead after an overnight shooting in North St. Louis. Police say the victim was gunned down along the 6100 block of North Broadway just before 2:30 this morning. There's no word on a motive or of any arrests. A multi-vehicle crash in Wentzville is to blame for the death of a 17-year-old Belleville boy. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports the teen was driving in the eastbound lanes of I-70 near Wentzville Parkway when he lost control and struck a recreational vehicle. This caused the teen's car to cross the median in the westbound lanes where it collided with an oncoming tractor-trailer. The teen was pronounced dead at the scene. The accident resulted in that stretch of I-70 being shut down for several hours, causing major delays in the area. The ongoing Boeing strike is delaying the fighter jet production in the St. Louis area. General Kenneth Wilsbach told the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee in written testimony that deliveries of F-15EX fighter jets had been anticipated this year but are delayed due to the ongoing Boeing strikes. Boeing workers began walking the picket lines on August 4th. No new talks have been scheduled. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter No Florist, a place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. How can you be sure that cannabis edibles are not mistaken for Halloween candy? The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
Cannabis items like edibles can sometimes get mistaken for sweets,
Last year, Missouri passed regulations on packaging for marijuana-related products. The rules include edible packages can only be one color, but they can have up to 2 logos of different colors, and the word marijuana must be prominently printed on the outside. Cannabis experts say the key in packaging is to look for resealable packages because candy wrappers do not have resealable packages. Cannabis does. If you think a child may have consumed an edible containing THC, call the Poison Control Center hotline immediately at 800-222-1222. Sobey Bay, KTRS News.
61 degrees. Time now is 7:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
All right, coming up, Mike DeBusky is going to talk a little tech. IBM's new quantum computer, whatever that means. We'll check in with him. He'll give us a little insight into that. Mike Schilt, manager of the Padres, resigned.
Didn't he just sign an extension?
He's got a buyout of $50 million.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for that.
I don't know. He apparently after the season, tough loss. He said, "Look, I'm holding on too tight," and he says that he needs to step away to take care of myself and exit on his terms.
He's 57.
Yeah, he spent 2 years as a manager with the Padres. He managed the Cardinals for 4 years before that. He took the team to the playoffs 2 years in a row. So there you go. He received votes for National League Manager of the Year award this year. He received at least one vote every year of his 6 years as manager. He also won the award in 2019 with the Cardinals. Never played Major League Baseball. Never played minor league baseball. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always wondered that.
The story goes, apparently his mother, when he was little, took him to a Baltimore Orioles minor league field, and he got a job like shining shoes or was the dugout attendant, and that's how he got into baseball, and he stayed and worked his way all the way up through the ranks and becoming manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. I would say arguably beloved here in St. Louis.
Yes.
Beloved in St. Louis for all sorts of reasons. But then fired, his words, thought he was going in for a raise, and he sat down with John Mozeliak and got fired, stunning Cardinal Nation, and then got picked up by the San Diego Padres, the bench coach, then he was the third base coach, and then ultimately ascending to the manager. Now, after 2 years, apparently taking a step away. His choice, apparently. So, Mike Schilt, now no longer manager of the San Diego Padres. With that being said, there was a story yesterday that Albert Pujols met with Artie Moreno, the owner of the California Angels, or Anaheim Angels, whatever you call them, and that apparently Albert Pujols is the leading candidate to take over as manager of the Angels. They're going to announce it after the World Series. I know it's just rumors. Interesting nonetheless that
already
Albert
paying him.
would become the manager of the Angels, a franchise that seems to be in complete disarray. And Artie Moreno was the one who released Albert Pujols. Just released him outright. Then he went to the Dodgers and then spent his last year with the St. Louis Cardinals. Albert Pujols, I love the guy. I love him. I love him on the field. I love him off the field.
He was just in town.
He's nicest man in the world. People who are the Pujols Foundation, I would argue that I'm very tight with. Todd Perry runs that organization, is I would call him a dear friend. I love Albert Pujols. Love Albert Pujols. Does he understand what it takes to be a manager in Major League Baseball today?
Being interviewed every day, sometimes twice a day.
It's 3 or 4 times a day. The lineup comes out. You have to have a conversation with the media. Then you have the pregame show. Then you've got the postgame show.
The coach's show.
Then you have the postgame show in the locker room. So you're the face of the organization. And Albert wants to play baseball. And unless he's been hiding this side of him that no one's ever seen before, and I'm not to saying he's not personable and not to say he's not friendly, I'm just saying when he was playing baseball, he was locked in. He really didn't have time for the media.
It was a
So
smile and nod
that's a
game.
bigger part of the job. You would say it's more important that you have media ability.
As
opposed to
you're the
knowledge
face
of the game.
Well, you have to have all those things, but you're the face. You're the one talking every morning. You're the one talking every game. Why'd you pinch hit for the guy? Why'd you swing it there? Why did you take him out? Why'd you put him in? The team is winning. The other team is losing. Yesterday you said that you're going to do this. Now you're going to do that. What happened to this guy? You said that guy. What about? I mean, that's what you're doing. You're answering all those questions. And then a manager in the 21st century just kind of sort of as an extension of the general manager. So you're doing whatever the general manager and the eggheads with the slide ruler are telling you to do. So if they want you to take the guy out in the 5th inning because you don't want him to face the third time through the lineup, you got to take the guy out. Yeah. So there's no coaching or there's no managing in the manager's job. So he can be a great help to lots of players in all sorts of roles, bench coach or assistant coach or special assistant or spring training, something. That makes all the sense in the world to me. Manager makes no sense to me.
Well, do you think this is something he really wants to do, or he just
Apparently.
feels like he should?
And I'm not saying he shouldn't do it. If he wants to do it and he understands, the role, I wish him all the best. If this is what he wants to do, knock yourself out. And if somebody wants to hire him, great. He has never shown a propensity to be somebody who has the gift of gab.
He's a smile and nod guy.
Yeah, and fine. I get it. I get it. Sure. The media can be annoying.
Like Mike Schultz wasn't good, right? Like, wasn't he kind of shy at the media, or that wasn't really his?
No. He was very personable.
Yeah, Schultz was very open, and Marmel's very open. And La Russa, say what you want about La Russa, he loved coming on and debating callers and fans about questions and strategy and whatever else. And he would come on the show and debate and talk, and I'd see him out and, I'd ask him a question, and he'd spend 20 minutes explaining to you, and you're like, Tony, I got to go. Hold on a second, but there's one more thing you're not thinking about. So, the guy would talk to a bus driver for 35 minutes about, the double switch. I don't necessarily see Albert being that guy. But reports are that he is apparently the odds-on favorite to become the manager of the California Angels.
I mean, they're already paying him because he's got that 10-year
personal
contract.
services deal. Yeah. You think about the Angels. They had Albert Pujols, they had Shohei Ohtani, and they had Mike Trout, and they still couldn't win. Talk about a cursed franchise. They're like the Jets. 7:15 here, Big 550 KTRS. Like Captain Paul Kopsky, right? His personality, I could see him being manager of the Angels, but Albert, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk double switch with you.
Yeah, there you go. St. Louis. Oh, you know what? I ran into somebody you went to high school with.
Oh, really?
Biddy?
Well, I went to SLU High.
Yeah.
So all boys.
Well, maybe she knew you in junior high.
Oh, okay.
Did you go to school with a girl named Biddy?
I never
or
did.
Betty?
There's
Bitsy?
more than one Paul Kopsky, though, in St. Louis.
Oh, really?
That does traffic.
Wait a minute. There's more than one of you?
There is, yeah. It's a relative of some sort, and I'm not sure how we are exactly related, but I did meet him one day on a golf course when his daughter was playing golf, and I was shooting photos.
Oh, okay. Was it weird staring at your namesake?
It kind of was a little bizarre.
You're like, you're Paul Kopsky? I'm Paul Kopsky. That must be weird. All right, so maybe you didn't go to junior high with a girl named Biddy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. Well, good to know. I think it was Biddy or Betty, or it wasn't Boopy or anything. No, I think it was Biddy or Betsy. Biddy, I might have been. All right. Captain Paul, stop messing around. St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center, how are the roads?
McGraw, they are working to clear an accident on eastbound 64 between Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Route N. Only one lane is getting through, and traffic is backed up past I-70 onto Route 61. Northbound 55 is running slow at Union and Stop and Go at Bayless, and the signals are on flash at Shoto and Tucker downtown. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The warm pattern continues this week. More highs in the 80s. Normal will be near 70, but we're going to get to the low 80s for Tuesday. We'll start off at about 60 degrees. Mild morning, warms up quickly, a high of 82 and partly cloudy skies. Staying dry for Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Partly cloudy Wednesday, a low of 60 and a high of 81. That's the latest on the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk outdoor living, because you would like to enjoy a nice little cocktail, sit out on the deck and argue about Mike Schilt and Cardinal managers and everything. That's a fun time. First, you have to build the deck, and to do it right, you got to go to Outdoor Living. They use metal framing. They'll use composite decking. They'll design it. They'll build it, and you can enjoy it. You won't have to worry about staining it. You won't have to worry about it warping, rotting, anything like that, because it won't get distorted in the heat of a St. Louis summer, because it's metal framing. It'll last a lifetime. In fact, Outdoor Living, when they build a deck for you, it comes, listen to this, with a 50-year warranty, right? A couple of years ago, that was unheard of. Outdoor Living, 50-year warranty. That's a pretty good warranty right there for your deck. So to get it done and to get it done right, Outdoor Living, 314-966-3325. Talk about building it once and never having to worry about it again. Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next-day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Stellus Pharma.
Have some fun with your friends while eating great food. Of course, I'm talking about the Village Bar, the only place to watch the big game while eating the world's best cheeseburger. There's a reason people have made this their favorite hangout for decades. The game's on, and so is the grill. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
Diana from Newsteaders Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
We're taking part with hashtag KTRSPink.
On social media, we'll honor survivors and those we've lost to this horrible disease.
So join us all month as we join the fight against breast cancer.
Follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. KTRS Pink.
Presented by Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, Show Me Healthy Women, Schrader Funeral Home and Crematory, First Community Credit Union, Altair Travel and Cruises, Bless Jewelers, and United Healthcare.
And the Big 550.
KTRS Cares.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Don't look now, but Marjorie Taylor Greene is driving everybody crazy. You thought you hated her. You thought you loved her. Now the people who hate her love her. The people who hate her now love her. In a recent interview, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman from Georgia's 14th congressional district, deep red Donald Trump territory where Donald Trump won 70% of the vote, said, I'm getting phone calls from people that are saying if the Affordable Care Act tax credits expire, they are going to be without health insurance. They're going to have to drop it, Marjorie Taylor Greene says. She understands, she says, let me see another quote here. Greene won re-election with 65% of the vote. And she's now telling the Republicans to drop this ridiculous notion and give the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act and let's get back to work. So there you go. Marjorie Taylor Greene now siding with the Democrats. So take that, people. You hated her, now you have to love her. And you loved her, now you have to hate her. So there. How's that one?
Do we have to?
Yes.
Do we have to do?
Yes. Well,
anything?
You know, she was a villain. She was playing the villain and the hero, right? She was, and now she's sort of switched sides. So now she's advocating for what the Democrats are advocating, which I don't know. You know, I don't know if that is a betrayal of epic proportions. She says.
You don't think she'll fall in line when it's time to vote?
Who knows? I mean, they say everything at every time, at every moment, right? They say everything. They say everything, just depending on who they're saying it to. And then we, as consumers, just choose to pick and choose what it is they say when they say it and then defend it to the hilt. So we're sort of stuck playing this game as well. But she's, who knows? She will tell you that she hasn't changed and that her constituents sent her to Washington to lower health insurance costs, and health insurance costs are going to rise. She'll tell you, her constituents sent her to Washington, D.C. to lower the price of beef and eggs and consumer products, and none of that's happening. And so what are we doing? If we are going to raise the price of health insurance, I'm not doing anything to benefit my constituents, which sounds a lot like Cory Bush. I just like it when people's heads explode. Right? I mean, it's sort of. She says, my job title is not cheerleader for the Republicans in Congress. I'm not talking about the president. I'm talking about Republicans in Congress. And Republicans in Congress are the ones that need to come up with a plan to fix health insurance. Whether it's Gaza, whether it's Epstein, or whether it's now the Affordable Care Act credits, She's been 100% degree opposite of Trump, said one House Republican. In fact, she's been more Biden than she's been Trump, says this Republican who will remain nameless. So there you go. Interesting little nugget of information. Apparently, her and Hakeem Jeffries are going to lunch
Dating?
today. No, not
Going
dating.
out? I thought it was
I meant
They were
going out. I didn't
going
mean going out. Going out. I meant like,
I got to meet her once.
they're hanging in the house gym together. I guess he's going to help spot her or something.
Nice.
So
I saw her the day she got divorced.
Oh,
and she was very bubbly that
Are
day.
you getting her confused with Lauren Boebert?
No.
Oh. Marjorie
I-
Taylor Greene got divorced?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
She's
that.
no longer a Green, but she still
She's
goes by-
keeping the name.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the
Interesting.
kids.
Yeah. Let's talk Lisi Lumber. Lisi Lumber is a family-run lumberyard, 2 locations. They've been around since 1872. Pretty remarkable when you think about it, that a company that started in 1872 still going strong today. How can you survive all those years through the ups and the downs and the different worlds you live in and the different times and the good times and bad times? Well, it's commitment to customer service, right? This Lisi Lumber has helped build St. Louis, and there's a very good chance Lisi Lumber is in your house somewhere because they've been delivering wood to St. Louis neighborhoods since 1872. Today, you're going to want some materials to build whatever it is you're planning on building, whether it's a doghouse, a tree house, an extension on the kitchen. Lisi Lumber is where you get the materials. Architectural renderings, they can decipher them and get you the materials. You have a materials list scratched out on a bar napkin, they can take care of that as well. They have a full fleet of people who are there to sort of help you and help navigate you along the way. They've got hardwoods, they've got timber trusses, they've got floor trusses, they've got a whole milling department. They've got carpenters that are world-class carpenters. If you're a builder, a contractor, a homeowner, anybody who knows how to swing a hammer and you need material, Lisi Lumber. Better wood, better pricing. What do I mean by better wood? It's straight, it's true, it doesn't bow, it doesn't warp. You get more yield. Therefore, it's cheaper costs. Therefore, that's better. Lisi Lumber. For all of your materials, they'll deliver it anywhere you are. Lisi or LisiLumber.com. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here once again is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, they have cleared an accident on eastbound 64 between Lake St. Louis Boulevard and Route N, but there is a residual slowdown back past I-70 onto Route 61. Traffic is also slow on eastbound 70 from Highway W to the 6470 interchange. Northbound 55 is stop and go at Union and Bayless, and the signals are on flash at Shoto and Tucker downtown. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Weather for the next couple of days. We've got temperatures 83 degrees, no rain in the forecast. No rain in the forecast till Saturday. 83 today, 83 tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine. 61 right now. It's 7:30. Let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
The New York Times, the Associated Press, and the conservative television network Newsmax are among 5 outlets on Monday who say they won't sign a new Defense Department document about its new press rules. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's team says that reporters who don't sign on to their new rules will be thrown out of the Pentagon on Wednesday if they don't agree. The new rules declare large swaths of the Pentagon off limits to reporters and declares that journalists who report information not formally approved by Hegseth's team risk getting their access revoked. SpaceX launched another of its mammoth Starship rockets on a test flight last night, successfully making it halfway around the world while releasing mock satellites like last time. Starship, the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built, thundered into the evening sky from the southern tip of Texas. In local headlines, hundreds showed up last night for a town hall focusing on a proposed data center in Midtown St. Louis. Residents voiced concerns over the project, including the economic and environmental impact. And it's open enrollment season, and there are some changes for Illinois residents seeking health coverage in the open market. The state is moving away from healthcare.org to a state-based marketplace. Get Covered Illinois next year. 62 degrees. Time now is 7:31. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Hey Illinois, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. Sorry St. Louis, this message is for our friends in the Metro East. Did you know that most Missouri-based tree contractors can't legally travel into Illinois? This is due to federal motor carrier regulations that require large trucks and their drivers to be registered with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration in order to travel across state lines. Almost all other tree services in Missouri fail to meet the requirements for safety, drug and alcohol testing, and equipment maintenance that are required for interstate travel. Here at Timberline, we meet and exceed all of these requirements and will be glad to travel across the river to meet all of your tree care needs. Call us today at 636-479-7475 for tree fertilization, pruning, insect and disease treatment, or complete removal. Or visit our website at stltreecare.com. That's stltreecare.com for service in the Metro East area.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Hey there, it's Julie Buck, and I'm here with Jeff Zufall. He's the Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group. He's also the author of the #1 best-selling book on the new tax laws. It's called Keep What's Yours. Jeff, this October, what do we need to know?
Julie, October is officially Financial Planning Month. The One Beautiful Bill Act locked in many of the tax laws set to revert back to the 2017 rules. But there were also changes to the tax code in this law, and we can help. Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax strategies offered by Capital Advisory Group to help them reduce their future tax liability and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. If you're not taking full advantage of the tax law and you feel like you're paying more than your fair share, then let us help you plan for 2026 and take advantage of the new tax rules.
Give Capital Advisory Group a call, 636-394-5524. Online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
All right, 7:36 here, Big 550 KTRS. I'm going to talk seriously for a second, because you're my You're my pop culture experts here. Is Katy Perry really dating Justin Trudeau?
I know. I was
way.
like, what? Fun.
So, former Prime Minister of Canada and Katy Perry are dating.
Like he
They were
floated
caught
that
making
out.
out.
He was caught playing grab hands with her, apparently.
What? Handsy.
Yeah, she has an interesting dating roster.
Yes.
Russell Brand.
Married to Russell Brand. Orlando Bloom.
I think she did.
John Mayer.
Yeah, I was dating John Mayer.
Yeah.
Couple songs about him.
Josh Groban apparently has dated her at some point. Josh Groban, those dated everybody.
So did John Mayer.
Yeah. And Colin, who's the Irishman?
Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah. So, yeah, now she's dating Justin Trudeau. But here's my other question I have for you, pop culture-wise.
Yeah.
And this goes to Katy Perry, because now she's everywhere with this new record.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was more wholesome.
Katy
She
Perry?
was raised in a gospel. Like her parents were both like reverends or in the church. So she was raised in a very religious household.
Okay.
Katy Perry's first album is a religious album.
Okay, well, that's what I
she's
mean.
Katie Hudson.
Meaning,
then.
I think she kind of was like, I'm going to leave that image behind and then just go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not so sure that she really. And I no disrespect to her, because this is just my own. I don't follow her. I only get her in snippets during a football game, so I don't really know a lot about her.
You're confusing Katy Perry with Taylor Swift.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I know Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. I know Katy Perry's Teenage Dream.
But why would Katy Perry be at football games?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Taylor Swift. I only know Taylor Swift from
football games.
But she seems much more wholesome girl, not like a Britney Spears kind of sexy, dance, gyrate, kind of, in your face, kind of, pushing the envelope.
She's more
kind
of a Jenny McCarthy kind of a pop appeal. Does that make sense?
Taylor Swift, but Jenny McCarthy
take Taylor Swift out of this. Why are we even talking about her? So Katy Perry, right?
No, I understand Katy Perry.
She comes across as being more like goofy.
Right, ditzy,
she
blondie.
Could be goofy /
She was on American Idol.
No, I get
years.
that. Right, but Taylor Swift seems a little bit more.
That's the country. That's because she
a
started
little bit more
in country.
mature, a little bit more wholesome, a little bit all-American, a little bit more all-American. And
she started as a 15-year-old in country music.
Right, but this last showgirl image she's portraying,
which is the #1 album in the country,
just seems a little bit more. It doesn't really seem to jive with sort of who she was or who she is.
It's a different era, McGraw.
Is that right?
That's how she goes.
Yeah.
No, she's got to switch it up. I mean, it's like she's just.
You can't
be like Crystal Gale and just sing and just sing the song. You got to have a whole new image.
Now.
Yeah.
And she's got a new man. I mean, everything's changing.
Yeah, I mean, she seems very nice. She was on Jimmy Fallon the other day, and she had a skirt on that was just
too much,
way too short. Right? I didn't know whether she was trying to pull it down or pull it up. Right? It was one of those types.
She's also very tall.
Yeah. Okay, but get her bigger dress then. I don't know. She just seems much more wholesome than the image she's trying to put out as this showgirl.
Showgirl, yeah.
And it just doesn't seem to work. I mean, embrace who you are. If you're a wholesome all-American girl raised in a nice family, there's nothing wrong with that.
She's like the most popular person. She probably even know who she is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, like you can't even. She's like bigger. She's bigger than.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'm not trying to be weird. Like.
It's hard to know who you are.
Yeah, how in the world could she even have a clue? Like, she's got to be so far from reality, and not her fault. But like, she operates on a completely different.
No, it's
so nothing really.
It's true. It's true. You wish give us that type of money at that age, and I'm not sure I'd be sitting here at age 58.
Yeah, I mean it's.
No, I hear you.
And somebody on the text line says she grew up. She's not the 15-year-old anymore.
No. I'm not saying I expect her to be 40. A 15-year-old. Pigtails. I understand that, but there's a 40-year-old version of a, and I'm not critical of any. I just thought she was more.
Madonna grew up
more wholesome. Madonna played that game more, right?
Yeah, but Madonna started out at point B.
But Madonna was more
sexual
early and grew out of it. She seemed to be not sexual and grew into it, if that makes any sense.
So after the week of Billboard charts after the album came out, the top 12 positions on the Hot 100 are all from Life of a Showgirl.
And that's not shocking because she's got
They
so many. It
listen
doesn't
to
matter.
them all.
Well, no, but it doesn't even matter about the music because they come out and they're going to love it anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not people's fault, but I hate these, like, who cares if it was the biggest album in the world? It's the same thing
No,
as
I
because
agree.
so many people are like,
I agree. The numbers
she
don't
could
matter.
put out a steaming plate of poo and people are still going to be like, this is the number one
No,
song.
I agree. And
So
those
it
numbers
doesn't-
don't
it
mean
doesn't
anything
matter
anyway.
at all.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be number one regardless
Who cares?
because.
Right. Like that just is not an accurate
But it is. But it
depiction.
has sold more albums
Of course,
than.
but we knew that.
And it's her 15th number one album. So, and it is, she was in a tie with Drake and Jay-Z for most albums by a solo artist.
Yep.
Now she is no longer tied with them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift. Yep, I got it. I was walking through Target the other day, and they're selling her album.
That's a Target special.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 7:43 here, Big 550 KTRS. But Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau. Interesting. All right, what else we got?
Pursued her, like, once she broke up with Orlando Bloom, he was, like, going for her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even as the Prime Minister of Canada?
I think he was on his way out by then.
I wonder that's why we have such a terrible relationship with China these days. Is there a tariff on Katy Perry?
She got such a bad rap when she went to space. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get she kind of is taken. She's like the whipping girl, right?
I like
it's
her
kind
tunes.
of. Yeah,
I
mean,
teenage-
I would much rather listen to
teenage
Katy
angst or whatever
Perry
that.
than Taylor Swift any day of the week.
Yeah, they're silly bubblegum pop songs.
And apparently her concerts are just all production. Like, it's just this big, ridiculous, which is people,
Yeah.
you know, it works.
Gotta love her.
Everything both of them do, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, calculated to the nth degree. So don't be surprised.
7:44 here, Captain Paul Kopsky. Captain Paul, I got more info on that girl you went to high school with.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on a second here.
First of all, he went to an all-boys school.
So ask him if he went to grade school with a woman named Julie Hegelstein.
Yes.
St. Michael's.
Yes.
Yes.
Shrewsbury.
What's her nickname? Wasn't it Biddy?
You know, I can't remember. It's so long ago. It was the 70s.
Did you date her?
No.
Did you carry her books home from school one day?
I don't think so.
All
but
right.
you know, we were friends in grade school.
All right. Did you? All right. So you didn't walk in the park with her.
No, I did not.
All right. Well, say hi to Julie.
All right, I will. Hi, Julie.
There you go. Okay, good. Captain Paul Kopsky. The Casanova of St. Michael's in the 70s. Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
And McGraw, the latest is an accident on southbound 170 at Brentwood with a stop and go back up all the way to Page. The estimated clearance time is 8:30. Eastbound 64 is slow in Lake St. Louis after an earlier crash. Northbound 55 stop and go at Union and Bayless. Northbound 270 is heavy from 55 to Gravois and from 44 to Big Bend. And the signals are on flash at Choteau and Tucker downtown. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The warm pattern continues this week. More highs in the 80s. Normal will be near 70, but we're going to get to the low 80s for Tuesday. We'll start off at about 60 degrees. Mild morning, warms up quickly, a high of 82 and partly cloudy skies. Staying dry for Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Partly cloudy Wednesday, a low of 60 and a high of 81. That's the latest on the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's talk Miller Furniture because Miller Furniture, a lot of people have asked me to send them a picture of the lamp. Oh, that lamp. That lamp's got a life of its own. I went to Miller Furniture in Fairview Heights. They've got a Stickley department over there, a little Stickley corner of the showroom. And I walked in, and they had this beautiful inlay lamp, a quarter-sawn white oak inlay with a stained glass lampshade. Harvey Ellis is the one who sort of is made famous, right? Made that inlay famous with Stickley's. He actually either is from St. Louis or spent a lot of time here in St. Louis. So world-renowned Harvey Ellis and Stickley, right? It's got a lot of history right here. When you buy a Stickley, you're buying a little piece of American history. Now, look, here's the deal. Stickley is American-made. They've got a great selection of rugs and chairs and lamps and accessories and big ones and small ones and all different sizes and all different price ranges. At Miller Furniture, they've got that times 100. They've got all name brands. They've got Amish furniture. They have other American manufacturers. They got rugs, and they got furniture. And it's American made, and it's quality, and it's good, and it's gorgeous, and it smells good. They've got mattresses. Boy, do they have mattresses. Matter of fact, when you go to Miller Furniture, you buy a mattress, you get an adjustable base for free. Think about that for a second. Same as cash financing. They have their half-price sale going on right now, so I didn't pay full price for the lamp. I paid half price for the lamp. Should have gotten two. Miller Furniture, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, American-made at its best. St. Louis family, been coming up on 100 years of selling quality American furniture. Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows, Ellisville on Manchester Road, Belleville in Illinois, and, of course, the Stickley Collection, Fairview Heights across the street from the mall. M-U-E-L-L-E-R, MillerFurniture.com.
Early detection is crucial in the fight against breast cancer. Surprisingly, even in women of average risk, abnormalities can be found. So even if you don't think you are at risk, screening is essential to prevention and saving lives. The Show Me Healthy Women program offers free breast and cervical cancer screenings to women ages 21 through 64 free of charge if you qualify. Please visit our website at health.mo.gov/showmehealthywomen or call toll-free 866-726-9926 for more information and to see if you qualify.
Altair Travel and Cruises is proud to sponsor KTRS Pink in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they're partnering with one of their preferred suppliers, Alma Waterways. River cruising is a hot way to travel right now, and Altair and Alma Waterways are offering $100 off any new Alma Waterways river cruise bookings made through Altair October 1st through the 31st. Call Altair today to book your next river cruise at 314-968-9600 or online at altairtravel.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with a mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
It's time for the popular Blust Jewelers annual Ladies Party, supporting breast cancer awareness, October 23rd through the 25th at the Blust Jewelers on Manchester Road in De Pere. Up to 50% off regular prices on select items. Wear pink and get an additional 10% off. Enter a drawing to win one of several gift certificates, and a portion of the sales will help breast cancer survivors. Enjoy refreshments, get a free gift with purchase, and most importantly, help support breast cancer awareness. Details at blustjewelers.com.
Gilmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Gilmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Truck drivers, the holiday rush is here. Take advantage by becoming a Schneider driver. By driving for one of America's busiest carriers, you'll stay busy during the holiday season and throughout the new year. Plus, as a Schneider driver, you'll have access to top quality driver support and newer equipment spec'd with the latest safety and comfort features that drivers want. Don't wait. Get a jump on 2026 by exploring jobs in your area today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Mama's on the Hill is the legendary birthplace of the Toasted Rav, and Mama's is the premier family restaurant on the Hill. Make a reservation online at mamasonthehill.com.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
All right, let's get to it. 7:51 here. Mike Dubusky joins us. Tech Tuesday. IBM's quantum computer. This, I thought, was Watson on Jeopardy a couple of years ago, Mike Dubusky.
Yeah, so IBM was behind Watson. That was largely an artificial intelligence effort for them, but that was also like 10 or 15 years ago at this point, and we don't really talk about AI when it comes to IBM. So IBM has been putting a lot of its eggs in the quantum computing basket as of late, and I got a chance to take a look at their latest quantum computer yesterday. There's one up in New York's Hudson Valley. You take the quick Metro North trip up there, and they say that this Thomas J. Watson Research Center is one of the leading quantum labs in the world. This is where they work on this kind of different type of computer. And in order to talk about quantum computers, we first have to quickly understand how normal computers work, what IBM calls classical computers. These all run on bits, right? McGraw, you've probably seen the Matrix at some point or another, the green numbers that come cascading down off the top of the screen. That's actually a real computer thing. Those are bits, those ones and zeros, that binary code. If you arrange enough ones and zeros next to each other, that is the basic building block of our current computing landscape. They are what dictates what photographs look like on your phone, what video games look like, how many options a drop-down menu has. They're building blocks. Quantum computers use different building blocks, right? They use what are known as quantum bits, where instead of being a 1 or a 0, it's kind of a variable, a percentage between those two states of being. And until you run the calculation, it's kind of both, it's kind of neither. Again, this is where it gets very quantum physics-y and kind of a little bit more complicated than my not having a quantum physics degree can explain. But the basic effect is that these computers, given that extra variability, are able to do calculations and solve problems that are way more complex than our normal computers are able to handle, and that has big implications for the development of things like drugs, the development of things like artificial intelligence, and the financial services industry.
Okay, so IBM not going down the AI route, but going down the quantum computing route?
Well, not necessarily. They're still developing artificial intelligence, and I talked to Jerry Chow, who is their head of quantum projects over at IBM, and he said that AI basically has two ways that it touches quantum computing. One, we know that AI is pretty proficient at like entry-level coding. It can do the work of like an entry-level coder decently well with some exceptions, and they are deploying that to help with the development of these quantum computers. A lot of this industry right now isn't even focused on like solving these really complex problems that we're talking about, but rather coming up with questions that these things can then solve, right? They have to demonstrate to these various industries that this is a good technology that they can deploy, so they have to come up with like tests to figure it out. So that is kind of where AI is being deployed going into the quantum computing sector. And then they say down the line, once these things become a little bit more mature, once they are deployed more broadly, they can actually help with the development of AI itself. I'll give you an example here. So last year, Google's also working on one of these things, and their quantum chip is called Willow. They announced that they were able to give this thing a math problem that would take a traditional computer 10 septillion years to solve. It was able to do it basically instantaneously. So you can imagine compressing that development time down and then applying it to something like AI. That has really big implications.
How do you know it was right?
That's a good question. I assume they had the answers. But here's the other thing, though. This is the actual application, right? I know your listeners are probably thinking, like, what does this have to do with me? I don't ever do these really complex math problems, or I don't ever do quantum physics. Well, last month, HSBC, the bank, announced that they were using IBM's supercomputer, their quantum computer that I looked at yesterday, to basically analyze bond trading. And they were able to more accurately predict the price that these bonds were going to sell at, about 34% more accurately, in fact. Now, this was basically a test. It was pretty limited. It was in the European bond market. But if IBM is to be believed, that eventually is going to be your money that is bought and sold and traded back and forth with these quantum computers and using the algorithms that go along with that. There are a lot of hurdles before we get to that future, before we develop AI much more quickly, or drugs much more quickly, or, have this, change the way we think about the financial services industry. But even still, the potential is pretty big here. And these companies, Google, Microsoft, and IBM among them, are making some pretty big promises.
A lot of people have talked, and I get that this new world, we're still trying to figure it out, and we're still trying to understand it all. But a lot of people keep going to stocks, right? Well, these computers are going to be able to buy stocks or bonds. Well, the stocks and bonds are being bought, but they're also being sold by somebody who's also going to be using quantum computing. Yeah. So how good is the quantum computer if two of you are using it and one needs to buy the stock and the other needs to sell the stock?
I think that is where IBM wants to distinguish itself, right? They want to create what is known as a quantum advantage. They say they're setting a target for this next year where you can only do something with a quantum computer. There's this weird tension right now in the computing space of people who are into this new quantum computing idea and people who prefer the traditional classical computer, and that's where our development talents should go. And that's kind of the tension that's playing out. And in order to demonstrate that these quantum computers are valuable, IBM needs to, give them basically these problems that they can solve that can't be solved with a traditional computer. And the financial services industry, I think, is where they kind of see that happening. If, two sides of a trade are both using the same quantum computer, it's unclear which one is going to come out first. The other big implication here is something like encryption, right? Encryption is what keeps all our data safe. It's where our passwords are stored. It's a technology that is basically a big digital box that we put all our safe stuff in. If a quantum computer becomes a mature technology and is able to break encryption, well, that has some real big cybersecurity implications as well, meaning that there's something of a race on now to develop a quantum computer that can have better encryption technology to guard against bad actors using quantum decryption technology.
Right, yeah. I mean, I understand they want to map the genome to solve cancer. Great. But, as you say, if they can bring down planes with a swipe of a couple of keystrokes, it ain't so good. Are they saying that one day we'll all have a quantum computer in our kitchen or on our phones, or what's the future here?
Not necessarily. So right now, when you do an operation on your phone, for example, some of that is being done locally, right? The chip on your phone can handle some computing work. A lot of it actually gets offloaded, right? They send that back to a server farm or a data center somewhere that can handle the more complex tasks. You're actually seeing that a lot in the AI sector because it's just so compute intensive. That's kind of how IBM sees quantum computing fitting into the larger sort of computing space, right? They want some of these problems to be handled with traditional computers that they can provide, and also some of it to be handled with quantum computers. They say that some of these complex problems that they're trying to come up with are so complex that some of it, parts A and B go into the quantum computer and then parts C and D go into the traditional computers. It's a mix, in other words. But from the user's perspective, from the everyday person's perspective, it's all supposed to be seamless. But again, supposed to be.
I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I can ask one of these computers, how are the Jets going to have a winning record, and they can successfully answer that question. Then I'll believe AI and quantum physics and all that other stuff. All right, Mike Dubusky, have yourself a good day. Thanks for checking in.
You too, McGraw.
You got it. By the way, those data centers, when your phone sent it to a data center, that's not in St. Charles. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on southbound 270 at Olive is causing a stop and go back up to Dorset. We also have a crash on southbound 170 at Brentwood. And this traffic report is brought to you by Dense Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dense Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DenseExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, Captain Paul from the Country Club Car Wash text line from the 314. Wait a minute. I dated Paul Kopsky in junior high. And then here's another one from the 618. No, wait a minute. I dated Paul Kopsky in junior high. What's going on there?
They're coming out of the woodwork.
They are coming out of the woodwork. Holy mackerel. You are a playa. You're the real deal, Captain Paul. 8 o'clock, Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Waking up in their own beds, the men who survived Hamas captivity for more than 2 years. Still not home, though. The bodies of 24 hostages who were supposed to be handed over as well. That has not happened, and that's drawing anger from Israelis. For Gazans, the new freedom to return home is met with the reality that home is gone. ABC's Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv.
Satellite images assessed by the UN showing 83% of structures in the Strip are damaged. So much remains to be done, not least how to end the famine here, how to rebuild, and how to dismantle Hamas. It'll require all of President Trump's efforts to make sure that this ceasefire turns into a lasting peace.
And today, the IDF shot and killed 5 Palestinians, saying they got too close to Israeli forces. President Trump back in Washington meets today with the president of Argentina on a $20 billion U.S. bailout. The timing is not great given a government shutdown here in which federal workers are going without pay or losing their jobs. Republicans in the Senate plan to force another vote today on this, but Democrats are still holding firm on their health care demands. So now what? ABC's Jay O'Brien on Capitol Hill.
Even top Republicans like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson warning that the government could be in for one of the longest shutdowns in its history. The record is 35 days set during the first Trump administration. And now more than 750,000 furloughed federal workers plus essential staff like TSA agents and air traffic controllers already feeling the pain, receiving their last paycheck until the government reopens.
There's more than protein in those protein powders. Consumer Reports found that more than 2/3 contained more lead in a single serving than what experts say is safe to consume in a day. Some more than 10 times. It wants the FDA to establish strict limits on lead. You're listening to ABC News.
With over 30 years of experience in top-quality senior living, McKnight Place Assisted Living knows how to help its residents live fulfilling lives. The professional staff gets to know all residents and their families. McKnight Place Assisted Living has become known for its high-quality amenities, personalized services, and expert care. But its history of making people a priority is what really sets it apart from many other senior communities. That starts with the residents and extends to their loved ones. 314-993-3333 or visit them at mcknightplace.com.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica health plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
Have accomplished. The young people of Madagascar are celebrating after the nation's president fled the country, pushed out by Gen Z protesters. Similar protests also led to the toppling of governments in Nepal and Sri Lanka. Sounds like measles are back in West Texas. The outbreak that began in January was declared over in August, but ABC's Jim Ryan reports cases are ticking back up.
Since late August, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has been reporting an average of 27 new measles cases each week, more than 1,500 altogether nationwide. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, a longtime vaccine skeptic, is nonetheless encouraging people to get vaccinated against measles.
2 Texas children died of it. More than 750 people got sick. Cracking down on kids' online searches. Instagram says it's limiting what teens can see and do on the platform. It says if a user under 18 searches for an adult topic or an account that typically posts content deemed inappropriate for minors, that content now will be blocked. Just yesterday, California became the latest state to require warning labels on certain social media sites when kids log on. A study of middle schoolers finds test scores dropped a point or two for those who spend an hour or more a day on social media. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Navigating to and through retirement doesn't have to be complex. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means. Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, The Talk of St. Louis.
.61 degrees at 8:05. Here's what's happening now. Homicide detectives have been called in after a man was found dead in a house fire in South St. Louis. Firefighters responded to a burning home along the 5900 block of Southwest Avenue at just after 5:30 this morning. Once inside, firefighters found the man's body. Fire officials say a hoarding situation made it difficult for firefighters to fight the fire. Tonight's execution of a Missouri inmate is moving forward. Yesterday, Governor Mike Kehoe announced he has denied clemency for Lance Shockley, who was convicted of the 2005 murder of Sergeant Carl Dwayne Graham of the Missouri State Highway Patrol. At the time, Graham was investigating the manslaughter of Jeffrey Bayless, a passenger killed while riding in a car with Shockley, who was suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol. Prosecutors say Shockley went to Graham's home where he fatally shot the trooper with a rifle. Shockley has long proclaimed his innocence. Former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan has begun his 7.5-year prison sentence in a federal bribery scheme. Madigan reported to prison yesterday. Madigan was found guilty on 10 of 23 counts in February following a 4-month corruption trial. Madigan, who led the Illinois House for 36 years and once chaired the state Democratic Party, was also fined $2.5 million and must serve at least 6 years before becoming eligible for release. The Missouri Department of Commerce and Insurance has issued a stern warning to halt the practice of insurance companies canceling or non-renewing policies for homeowners still grappling with recovery from the catastrophic spring 2025 storms. This action comes after the department became aware of a few companies terminating coverage for Missouri consumers actively working to complete necessary repairs. Residents who are experiencing a problem are encouraged to call DCI's consumer hotline at 800-726-7390 or visit insurance.mo.gov for more information and resources or to file a formal complaint. Ferguson Brewing Company is closing, but another local brewery is making plans to take over the space. The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
After 15 years in North St. Louis County, Ferguson Brewing Company will close its doors on December 20th, but its taps won't stay dry for long. A local brewery chain will take over the space, serving up craft beer and wood-fired pizza. Good News Brewing Company, Ferguson, is scheduled to open in early 2026. Soulcraft founder Rodney Fickus and his wife Julie will lead the locally owned and operated franchise. Before opening, they plan some light renovations to the space at 418 South Florissant Road. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 61 degrees. Time now is 8:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You know him as the voice of Billikens basketball. It's time for sports with Bob Ramsey on the McGraw Show, powered by Baldy Electric on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's 8:08 here, Big 550 KTRS. We've got to go to the expert, Bob Ramsey, of course, the voice of the Billikens, voice of the Lindenwood Lions, and, of course, afternoons here on the Big 550 KTRS. Good morning, Bob Ramsey.
Good morning, McGraw. How are you, sir?
Good. Blues win, but that baseball game last night, man, that third-inning double play, have you ever seen a double play like that before?
I have not ever seen anything like that, and hardly anyone involved in baseball has ever seen anything like that. It was crazy and really remarkable.
All right, hold that thought. Here's the audio of how it happened last night in the third inning. Brewers are in the field. Dodgers are up. Bases are loaded. There's one out, and this happens.
Muncy has a chance to break the ice here in game one.
And Muncy skies one to center field, hit well. This one's got a chance. Freeland going back to the wall. He leaps. It's in and out of his glove, but he caught it. And now chaos on the bases. Might have a play at the plate. The throw. Not in time. No, he's out. He's out. It's a forced play at the plate. And he is out.
It's no catch. It hits the wall off his glove. And now it's a forced play at home.
Let's see. And the throw beat him. Yeah. So you're going to have bases loaded and 2 outs.
3 outs because Contreras ran to third.
He ran to third for another force.
After review, the call on the field, the force out at home plate is confirmed. The runner is out. It's confirmed on the runner at third base when the force out is out.
Wow.
Now, we should say there was no controversy. The umps called it correctly all the way. And they looked at it and said there was nothing wrong. But you've never seen a double play where the guy robs a grand slam home run and it turns into a double play.
Yeah, really crazy. And the what's really interesting is baseball has 2 definitions for a catch: one for the runner and one for a fielder. You know, everybody knows the rule. You've got to willingly or willfully take the ball out of your glove to make it a catch, right?
Right.
But and I admit I didn't know the specifics of the rule for a runner. If you're on a fly ball, when you tag up, the second the ball touches a fielder's glove, whether he then drops it, boots it, whatever, and then it touches his glove, you go as a runner, and that's by rule. You can go then. And I'm not sure I even knew that rule. And obviously the runners didn't either. Will Smith out at second base, he thought that it was a legal catch because you really couldn't tell as a runner if it touched the wall or not. But had they known the rule, it wouldn't have mattered if it touched the wall. When it touches the glove, you can go. So really crazy all the way around.
Yeah, it was remarkable. I knew that rule, but in the moment, it's really hard. You're standing on second base and you see the guy bobble. You're in no man's land for that split second. I mean, even if you know the rule, you just never see it, and so you're going to hesitate for a second to make sure you're doing it right.
You don't want to do the go through the index file in your brain. Wait a minute, is that a rule? What's the rule on that?
Right.
You've got to make a split-second decision. Yeah, it's crazy.
Dodgers ultimately win, but one of the great quirky plays of baseball, which makes baseball baseball. So there you go.
Two great baseball games. Two really fun football games, and an unbelievable hockey game. I didn't see a commercial all night as I was going back and forth and back and forth. It was, if you're a hardcore sports fan, it was a heaven to be in front of your TV.
Yeah, weird that the Dodgers let the best pitcher on their team, Blake Snell, go 8 innings. That's weird. But again, he was there, gave him 8 great innings, and ended up winning the game ultimately.
He was absolutely brilliant. Now, you go back 25, 30 years, he probably would have come out to start the 9th. But keep in mind, he didn't pitch for much of the season. He went over 100 pitches 2 previous times in the regular season. But they want to play through the end of October and not overly tax him. Probably made the right decision. But had Milwaukee, who pressured him in the 9th, come back and won, the manager and fans would be kicking themselves on the decision. But Snell was absolutely brilliant.
All right, let's talk. Mike Schilt resigns. That would be the big story of the day. But now you're starting to hear all these stories that Albert Pujols is the odds-on favorite to become the new manager of the Anaheim Angels. Can you explain this to me?
Well, he clearly wants to manage. And what I think is interesting, they said they were talking contract. And I think the problem is you're already paying him, you being the Angels, you're already paying him for his personal services contract. And then do they want to kind of roll that into what they want to pay him as a manager? Or does his agent say, whoa, these are 2 separate issues. You pay us for this and you pay us the going rate for this. So is it a contract hang up? I don't know. Obviously, nobody's reported it as such, but if you try to read between the lines, that could be an issue. Otherwise, you talk to him to be a manager. He wants to be a manager, pull the trigger or move on. You wouldn't think it would linger this long if it wasn't contract issues.
But I don't understand. I love Albert. This is not to say he can't manage, but the manager is the face of the organization. He meets with the media 3-4 times a day. Albert met with the media 3 or 4 times in his career. I mean, the guy just is not. He doesn't want to talk to the media, and you have to do that as a manager.
Well, you're right about that. And for all of us who love Yadier Molina, similarly, how would that work as a manager? Now, fans would say, they don't care if he meets with the media. Okay, I get your point, but the reality is you do. That's just the reality. And so can those kind of guys sort of change their stripes as they move into another phase of their career and their life? And that's absolutely the challenge.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how it all works out. I wish him well. If he wants to manage and he wants to become the gift of gab and become the Lee Trevino of managers, God love him. I wish him well.
And here's the other thing about that. The last couple of seasons, he's done a pretty good job working for Major League Baseball, the MLB Network. Really surprising to me because we never really heard him talk before. and he handled himself with MLB Network really pretty well. So if you're a fan who wants to see Pujols managed, that gives you hope.
Yeah, and for that matter, Chris Duncan, when you talk to him as a player, it was like pulling teeth to say, good morning.
He wouldn't give you anything.
Right, but once he was done playing and you put him on the radio, the guy wouldn't shut up. He was great. And so I'm not saying they can't do it. We just haven't seen that side of Albert. So we'll wait and see how it all checks out. All right, so. Bob Ramsey, we've all been in radio long enough. We've all been fired from time to time. We've all been called in. Grab your playbook. Franklin, the head coach of Penn State, you're fired. That's the bad news. The good news, we'll pay you $50 million over the next 10 years. It's got to be a great life to be a fired football coach.
Would we like to hire his agent to meet with Mr. Dorsey? I don't think he would meet with him.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, you're going to pay.
Crazy.
When you fire me, pay me $50 million. Done. Deal. Let's go. Let's announce it.
It's really insane, and it wouldn't surprise me if whoever signed him to that deal, the president, the chancellor, whoever, could be on the hot seat with the folks at Penn State, whether it's boosters, the board, whatever, because that's an insane deal.
Well, they keep giving it to these guys.
The guy's such a can't miss. Oh, this guy's going to be great. We'll never get rid of him. Well, that's idiotic.
Right. Well, but they're giving them to everybody, right? They're not just giving them to this guy. They're giving them to everybody. So these buyouts are insane.
There are no more Vince Lombardis out there.
He was fired. Lombardi was fired. He was a bum.
Even he was fired. That's right. And so why would you do that? Are you so desperate that $50 million doesn't mean anything to you? In the end, I don't think so. I think some schools will come to their senses eventually.
We'll see what happens. Bob Ramsey, get in here, and we'll enjoy you and the camaraderie starting at 3 o'clock on the afternoon show. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Bob Ramsey every Tuesday here, and weekdays 3 to 6 with Heidi and Josh in the afternoon on the Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, take it away.
Southbound 270 at Olive is off on the shoulder with the stop and go back up to Dorset. Estimated clearance time is 8:35. Southbound 170 is closed before 64 due to an accident with injuries. It's causing a backup past Page, and the estimated clearance time is 8:30. Northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless, and northbound 270 is heavy from 55 to Doherty Ferry, especially around 44. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got two locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The warm pattern continues this week. More highs in the 80s. Normal will be near 70, but we're going to get to the low 80s for Tuesday. We'll start off at about 60 degrees. Mild morning, warms up quickly, a high of 82 and partly cloudy skies. Staying dry for Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Partly cloudy Wednesday, a low of 60 and a high of 81. That's the latest on the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Country Club Car Wash, CCCWSTL.com. Buy the monthly pass, pay for it once, and then get unlimited car washes all month long. If you buy it on the monthly pass, you're going to use it a lot, and you're going to save yourself some serious money. After, 2, 3, maybe 4 car washes, you're going to be making money, and they're going to be losing money on you. What's great about Country Club Car Wash is that 5 convenient locations, all local, all attached to mobile on the run. Pay for it once a month, and then unlimited. So every time you drive by, you get your car clean. Just scoot in, scoot out. Takes you 2 minutes, and you drive around with a nice, clean car. Nothing better than that. Get one for the spouse. Get one for the kids. No greater expression of love than the teenagers got a car, get them a car wash, and send them on the way to make sure the car is clean while they're driving around town. Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com. If it doesn't say country, it's not Country Club Car Wash. Be careful. Don't be fooled by some imposter. Country Club Car Wash. If it doesn't say country, it ain't Country Club. cccwstl.com.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
We're taking part with hashtag KTRSPink.
On social media, we'll honor survivors and those we've lost to this horrible disease.
So join us all month as we join the fight against breast cancer.
Follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. KTRS Pink.
Presented by Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, Show Me Healthy Women, Schrader Funeral Home and Crematory, First Community Credit Union, Altair Travel and Cruises, Bless Jewelers, and United Healthcare.
And the Big 550.
KTRS Cares.
Sunset Hill Subaru is a proud local business that has served the St. Louis metro area since 1963. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, their friendly, knowledgeable, and experienced team will get you into the Subaru that was built for you. And when you visit their massive showroom, you can expect the superior customer service that you deserve that's become synonymous with Sunset Hills Subaru. Located on Watson Road in Sunset Hills, they're only a stone's throw from St. Louis, Kirkwood, Arnold, and the Metro East. Browse or shop online at sunsethillsubaru.com.
Hey, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. St. Louis winters don't mess around, and neither should you. When those freezing temps hit, the last thing you want to do is discover your furnace isn't up to the job. That's why now is the perfect time to call Premier Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians will give your system a full checkup, making sure it's safe, efficient, and ready to keep your family warm all season long. Think of it like an oil change for your car. A little preventative care now saves you from big, expensive breakdowns later. Plus, a tuned-up system runs more efficiently, which means lower energy bills when the cold really sets in. So don't wait until you're shivering under 3 blankets. Schedule your heating inspection today with Premier Heating and Cooling. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net. 636-916-1122.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for Chuck Berry's birthday bash. Celebrate the father of rock and roll with hits like Johnny B. Good and Roll Over Beethoven, performed live by the SLSO and band members from the Rolling Stones, Living Color, and The Pretenders. October 17th and 18th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
It's time for the popular Bless Jewelers annual Ladies Party, supporting breast cancer awareness, October 23rd through the 25th at the Bless Jewelers on Manchester Road in De Pere. Up to 50% off regular prices on select items. Wear pink and get an additional 10% off. Enter a drawing to win one of several gift certificates, and a portion of the sales will help breast cancer survivors. Enjoy refreshments, get a free gift with purchase, and most importantly, help support breast cancer awareness. Details at blessedjewelers.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
824 here at Big 550 KTRS. Every Tuesday and every Thursday, Antonio French checks in from the Post-Dispatch. Good morning, Antonio French.
Hey, good morning.
Talk about the sheriff here in a second, but we were talking amongst ourselves about your coffee shop in the Grove. What's the name of the coffee shop?
Well, it's called a Hot Java Bar.
A Hot Java Bar. And we often said that you should have called it French Press as a coffee place.
That's an idea.
However, we have a new idea. We think you should have, within your coffee shop in the brewery, you should have like Tuesday and Wednesday nights open mic night and call it a brouhaha.
Well, actually, we do have an open mic night on Tuesdays. But it's not called a brouhaha. That's an excellent name too. Maybe we'll have a segment that's called a brouhaha.
You could have like You can have like the stage called a brouhaha, right? A brouhaha stage, and then have it.
You guys are full of ideas. You're my outsourced marketing department here.
We are here for you. 825 here at Big 550 KTRS. All right, Antonio French, the sheriff. Getting a lot of attention. It's a small office that people vote on. Catherine Hanaway is now trying to overturn the will of the people. He's had some controversy. The judge said not so fast. I don't know how many people are actually paying attention to this or actually care in the city, but this is turning into a nightmare scenario.
It is. The sheriff's department, the sheriff's office is not something that most people interact with a lot. Typically not like the sheriff in other parts of the state, or as you see on TV, the sheriff isn't really like top law enforcement officer in St. Louis, although apparently he thought he was. But it's really a job that's basically limited to the courthouse. It's like security at the courthouse, moving prisoners back and forth, having a bailiff inside the courthouse. So, but we elected a new sheriff, and he has had some delusions of grandeur to the point where he thinks he can interfere with police investigations, handcuff other city law enforcement officials, and this thing is blown up. I mean, that incident happened months ago, but now that the state has gotten involved, the Attorney General office, he's now facing felony charges. And now we got this crazy situation where the sheriff is actually on house arrest, can't leave his own house, and placed one of his employees, an attorney, in charge of the sheriff's office. So if ever there was a case where most people would say, this guy should probably resign, this is it. But he is stubborn, and he says he will not resign under any circumstances and will have to be removed out of office. And Catherine Hanaway says, well, hold my beer, because she is about to remove him from office.
But I thought the judge said, no, not so. I thought the judge sort of put the kibosh on that.
Well, I think, obviously, if he is convicted of the felonies, he will be removed. So they're going about it another way. He is now facing these felony charges. And, if a sheriff is convicted of a felony, obviously he can't hold that office. So there's, as they say, more than one way to skin a cat. But, this is not a good situation for the sheriff, not a good situation for St. Louis taxpayers. And it's just another reminder that, man, elections matter. And let's kind of, maybe we should kind of filter through these candidates a little bit before we start putting people in these offices, especially the few offices where we also give you a gun. Let's make sure you're a responsible individual.
I'm not trying to be a nudge with this question, but a convicted felon, why can't they be a sheriff? We have a convicted felon as president of the United States.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I do believe in the because it is a law enforcement position, I think that you cannot be convicted of a felony to have an office of sheriff.
Got it.
Again, I'm not an expert or a lawyer on it, so we might need to fact check that.
Yeah, the other thing is, and I don't know, every time you try and change something at City Hall, people's heads explode, but I mean, do we really need to vote on who the sheriff is? I mean, what's the campaign? Why does the sheriff have to raise money and go door to door to sort of campaign? Shouldn't that be a appointed position that's approved by the Board of Aldermen, and sort of we would sort of not have this type of shenanigans to deal with?
Well, the judges definitely would think so. I think they would vote in favor of that. The judges are basically who the sheriff's most deals with and kind of answers to down there. The previous sheriff had butted heads a little bit with the judges, and then the sheriff before that was the long-serving Jim Murphy, who had been there for, 25 years. And so, that office had been really quiet for a long time. Typically sheriffs across the state are law enforcement officers, and then they are elected in those counties. That is kind of how that has been set up. St. Louis has the same structure, except it's been stripped of all the power, all the law enforcement power. And so all that resides completely within the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department here in the county of the city of St. Louis. So it gets a little confusing, but I think at this point, people are just, it is nothing but controversy at this point. It is not an office that really affects most people's daily lives, except maybe if you are being evicted or something like that. They also carry out evictions. It is something that can easily be picked by either a mix between the judges or the Board of Aldermen. It should be an appointed position probably. But then again, we don't want to let one bad office holder kind of ruin it for everybody. But if we are talking about streamlining St. Louis government, that office of the sheriff has always been on that list to streamline, along with the comptroller's office and many of these other state offices that in our city form of government really don't have the same power.
Yeah, and I mean, I just don't. It should be non-political, right? You're supposed to be dealing with bail and transferring prisoners to and from and back and forth and doing it safe and secure. I don't necessarily know what your liberal and or conservative platform would be to actually run on. It kind of doesn't make any sense. It's a job. Do your job and have the mayor, right, serve at the pleasure of the mayor or the judges or a combination of both that's approved by the Board of Aldermen. So you have checks and balances, if you will. But who really needs to vote on the sheriff? It's, people have enough things to deal with, but we'll leave it there. All right. So comedy nights, Tuesday in the Grove. Is that right?
Open mic night. So, yeah, tonight is a Word Up open mic. You come up, sign up. You can get on stage and do your thing, or you can just come and watch people. A lot of good performers, singers, and poets. And we all stream it live, too. So if you can't make it, you can go to our YouTube page and watch it live.
Beautiful. What time does all this start?
Opens at 7 o'clock and goes to about midnight every Tuesday.
Beautiful. Good stuff. Antonio French, thanks for checking in. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
You got it. 8:32 here. Big 550 KTRS. I like that open mic night. I bet you that's a lot of fun. Get some creative people coming there reading poetry or telling jokes or playing a song or something.
Right.
8:32 here. St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, an accident on southbound 270 at Olive is off on the shoulder with traffic slow back to Dorset. It looks like they've cleared an accident on southbound 170 before 64, but traffic is still slow back to Olive and Page. Northbound 55 is running slow at Bayless, and northbound 270 is heavy from Gravois to 64. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hot Java on the corner of Boyle and Manchester in the Grove. Hot Java tonight, 7 o'clock, open mic night. 8:33 weather-wise. Here's what we got for the next couple of days. Temperature is going to be in the 80s. No rain in the forecast. Some clouds along the way. High of 83. Right now, 64 at 8:34. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
President Donald Trump is back in Washington after urging leaders across the Mideast to put old feuds aside. He met with more than 20 government leaders in Egypt to celebrate a U.S.-brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and discuss future of the largely destroyed Gaza Strip. Newly released records reveal details about the gunman who attacked a Dallas immigration facility in September. Joshua Jean's parents describe him as completely normal before moving to Washington State, where he believed he developed radiation sickness. The 29-year-old killed 2 detainees and wounded another before taking his own life. The records show Jean was unemployed, isolated, and obsessed with artificial intelligence, but did not indicate a clear motive for the attack. In local headlines, an informational session will be held tonight in St. Charles County about the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, also known as RECA. The session will be held at the Spencer Road branch of the St. Charles City County Library from 6 until 8 this evening. And the city of Manchester has been recognized as one of Missouri's most neighborly cities for 2026. The honor was awarded by the University of Missouri Extension and the Hopeful Neighborhood Project. Manchester joins Springfield, Fremont Hills, Excelsior Springs, Houston, and Lee Summit as cities that exemplify neighborly excellence across Missouri. 64 degrees. Time now is 8:35. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, let's talk Rudy Beck, Carolyn Stoltzer, and Jay Lennox. They run the Beck-Lennox estate Planning and Elder Law Firm. You need to protect your assets. You're not doing it. Question is, people keep telling you to do it, and you keep saying, yeah, I got to do that. What are you waiting for? Call Rudy Beck. Call Jay. Call Carolyn. Get on their calendar. That's the hardest part. Then make an appointment. Go out to their office. Nice little trip out to St. Charles. You can cross the river. If you don't live in St. Charles, you'll survive. Pack a lunch. Make sure you got plenty in the tank. You will survive if you cross over the river. Everywhere from Troy to Illinois to Missouri and back, north, south, east, and west. They've been doing this for 50 years. You need to protect your assets from that generation to the next generation. And why aren't you doing it? Because you just haven't gotten around to it. You know you have to do it. Call Rudy, call Jay, call Carolyn, and get on the calendar. Once you're on the calendar and you go meet with them, it's easy and actually, dare I say, almost enjoyable. Yeah, because you know you are protecting the assets that you've worked so hard to accumulate. 636-946-7899. 636-946-7899. Everybody tells you to do it. Why haven't you done it? Call today and get on the calendar. You can thank me later. BeckElderLaw.com.
Every January, the gyms are full and the resolutions are big. But by February, most people have already given up. That's why Premier U helps people flip the script. Don't wait for January. Fall is the perfect time to start a weight loss journey. Premier U's personalized programs use today's most effective weight loss medications paired with expert support. Why wait to start fresh? Call Premier U today or visit premierumed.com to get started. Your future self will thank you.
Are you or a family member needing to sell your home? Then call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I will buy your home in any condition and always as is. Call me at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. No contingencies, no inspections, just cold hard cash. I'll save you time and money. So make that call now and let me buy your house. RobankProperties.com. That's ROBANG Properties.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Watch your favorite team, eat your favorite food. It's the Village Bar. You've heard about the world-famous cheeseburger. Stop by and check it out. Even better, bring your friends on your way to the game, after the game, or just watching the game. Food, sports, and a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show. This Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Now back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, this Friday, we're taking a bunch of KTRS listeners on a Halloween Disney cruise. We should do a show. Never thought I'd say that. Sherry Norris joins us to talk a little about Disney. Good morning, Sherry Norris.
How are you, McGraw? Is your suitcase all packed? Is your pirate night outfit packed? Your Halloween costume packed?
No, not yet. I'm still deciding who I want to be, and if I'm actually going to go. No, first, did you see that? Did you see that game last night? Did you watch any of that baseball game?
I saw the very end of it, and I was just, how exciting! Bottom of the ninth, they could come from behind and win it, and then he struck out on a high ball.
Yeah,
but,
go back and look at that double play. You've never seen a double play like that before in the fourth inning. It was pretty amazing. What about your buddy Mike Schilt? Did you see this coming? Did he tip you off before it happened?
No, he did not. So it was a surprise when I got that little blurb on my phone yesterday.
All right, good.
And I thought, well, maybe he's going to remain in baseball, but maybe not do the managing thing. I haven't read the article, so I don't know what he exactly said. But
let's give him a couple years off to regenerate, rejuvenate, maybe
I
and come back.
I just can't imagine he can go cold turkey and be out of baseball.
Well, you can't go cold turkey. That's for sure. All right, so this Disney cruise is interesting because obviously the joke is right. It's a Halloween Disney cruise, but if I didn't have you and the travel agency behind me, I don't think I ever would have been able to figure out all the things you needed to do to go on a Disney cruise. I mean, they put you through the ringer going through this Disney cruise.
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. I mean, especially if you're a Disney person, I mean, you're really excited and you kind of know some of the things. You read about them and things like that. But for people who maybe this is their first time Disney cruise, like yourself and that, it is a lot of information and a lot of different things that happen on board that are different than other cruises, like the theme nights and the rotational dining and the Royal Princess meet and greets and things that you do have to know in advance and plan for in advance. So that way you don't get on board and it's like, what? There's a pirate night? What do you mean there's a pirate night?
Well, they sent us watches that we had to charge, right? Because that's how you get on the ship. What else did we do? We had to sign up for the Bippity Boppity Boop Boutique.
And I can't wait to see Emerson after she's experienced Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
We had to get up at midnight and register for something you told me to do, or I'd be the worst dad in the history of mankind. So I did that. Then we had to register for when we were fishing with the dolphins and not fishing with the dolphins. It's a lot of rules and regulations, this Disney stuff.
Yes, and I'm sure you have signed Emerson up for the kids club so that she can go to those whenever she wants. Those are free. The only time that there is a charge in child care is in the nursery, and they do have, because that's more of a hands-on, watching a child type thing. But for the kids club, that's all free. All the activities and everything.
Well, good. So there's something actually free with Disney. That's good to know. At least one thing. But you've said from the very beginning that these Disney cruises are great for the kids and great for the adults.
Yes, I mean there's adult areas, but then just if you're a Disney adult, you love everything. But if you're just a regular adult, just seeing I don't know if you've been online to see a tour of the Disney Wish, but I mean, when you go in and you see this atrium, McGraw, and we've been on different cruises, I think your mouth is going to just fall open because it is just so beautiful, and the architecture and everything like that. Take Disney parts out of it, and just the way they do everything, and then the theme nights that we're going to have, being part of a Marvel universe, are being at Kristoff and Anna's engagement party for dinner. I mean, how fun is that?
All right. Well, we're going. We're leaving Thursday night, so we'll wait and see how it all turns out. Now, Altair Traveling Cruises is teaming up with AMA Waterways for a breast cancer campaign. What's going on here?
Yeah, so for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as you've heard on KTRS, if you book a new AMA Waterway trip between October 1st and 31st, AMA is going to give you $100 off your booking. And that can be any booking yet for 2025, one for 2026, and they're even open for booking for 2027. And that's combinable with the sales they have going on now. They have an early booking for 2027. As long as you book by the end of this year, you don't have to pay in full. You just have to book and deposit by the end of the year. You can get up to $4,000 off per room. They have select sailings for 2025 and 2026, where you can get off up to $2,500 per room. So you can give us a call. You know, AMA is all over the world. They're even going to start some cruises in South America. So our Think of Tula time in the Netherlands, our Christmas markets on the Rhine and Danube. We did the Rhine before.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But narrow it down. You got two or three different cruises that you can sort of feature, so you can give us some idea of some of the things and some of the places we can go?
Well, we have Melodies of the Danube, which you can add on, you know, Prague or Budapest, depending upon which direction you're going, beginning or end. And we do have a wine cruise with Mike Ward, July 22nd of next year. We also have with the Wild Sun Winery a Savor Taste of Bordeaux cruise, which is in France and going through the wine regions of France. And we have an Enchanting Rhine cruise in the fall, October 3rd. And that's like the cruise we did when we did Christmas markets. Of course, it won't be, you know, highlighting Christmas markets, but that area of the Rhine. So, you know, a lot of good choices. The Danube and the Rhine are, you know, kind of 1 and 2 for people who have never cruised before. And those who have done that, then they maybe branch out into the France or the Netherlands trips.
Yeah. Alma's got some great, it's high-end luxury at its finest. Really nothing's left to chance. They are great partners with you, and every time we've been on them, we've had a great time. All right, so what do? We just call up you or somebody at Altair and start figuring out where it is we want to go?
Yes, give us a call at Altair. If it's for one of the specialty trips I mentioned, we'll direct you to the agent that is working on those particular cruises. And also, you can visit our website if you go to altairtravel.com and click on the cruises and scroll down to River Cruises and click on AMA Waterways. It talks about the 2 specials that I mentioned and also our featured trips, those 3 trips that I mentioned that we're going to have escorted from Altair.
Altairtravel.com. Maybe Mike Schilt can be on the Cardinal Cruise next fall or next winter.
That's a good idea. I'll have to put that bug in somebody's ear.
Yeah, why don't you give him a call? All right. Altairtravel.com, right next to O.B. Clark's on Brentwood Boulevard in the Milton Building. It's right there. Been there a long time. Sherry, get some sleep. We're going to be partying on that Disney cruise, so get some sleep.
I know we are.
All right, good. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Sherry.
Thanks, McGraw.
8:48 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky. Once again in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw eastbound 64 is running slow from Clarkson to 141. Northbound 270 is heavy from Gravois to 44 and from Doherty Ferry up to 64. And the ramp from northbound 270 to westbound 370 is closed for pavement repair. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour or plan your next event, specifically group outings or holiday parties at the Rack House. The Rack House featuring a seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. The warm pattern continues this week. More highs in the 80s. Normal will be near 70, but we're going to get to the low 80s for Tuesday. We'll start off at about 60 degrees. Mild morning, warms up quickly, a high of 82 and partly cloudy skies. Staying dry for Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Partly cloudy Wednesday, a low of 60 and a high of 81. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, I was talking to Larry Thornton the other day, and Larry Thornton, of course, runs the window store. He's been doing it 37 years now, and they are killing it. And, in fact, he reached out to me and said, hey, if you want to mention on the radio that we're looking for a couple of good employees, there's nothing wrong with that. So if you've lived in the window space, maybe a warehouse operator, warehouse manager, Window Store's looking for a few good men. Also, a couple of installers. Now, it's not that installers have left them. The great installers are still there, but business is booming, and they need a couple of more installers. So, if you are in this space or know somebody in this space and you want to work for a great company and a great business that will let you do it right, the Window Store could be a great place to go. And, of course, if you're looking for windows or looking for doors, well, you want to keep it in the family and you want to keep it with the Window Store. The reason why they need another factory manager or a warehouse manager and they need some more installers is because of the response they got from KTRS listeners. Everybody loves them. They love them because the great windows, the great price, the great customer service. 37 years, right? That tells you something. The Window Store, beating the big boys at their own game locally. 314-739-0002, WSWindow.net.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Saw something that I wanted to buy. If I had all the money in the world, I would buy it.
A $250,000 lamp.
No. It was and every man in the audience is going to say, oh. And every woman is going to say, you've got to be kidding me. You ready for this one? It was a automated, self-driving snowplow for your driveway and walkway.
Ooh.
It was like a Roomba for the snow that falls in your driveway.
How deep?
up to 12 inches.
Ooh.
Yes.
Worth it.
It could do concrete. It could do gravel. It could do
grass.
I don't know if it. Well, you wouldn't want to necessarily.
It depends on your sidewalk.
Okay, right. But you could do different levels, right? Your sidewalk's one level, and then you have a patch in the back of this. You could do it all with a remote control automated snow plow. Starting price $5,000, which I thought was pretty reasonable. I thought it was pretty reasonable.
Right, and you could make your money back by doing your neighbors. Just send it on over there.
I'm going to make a fortune, and then it never rains or never snows. Yeah.
How long does it take? Did you see a demo?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I saw it. It's on the video. It's got to be real.
It's the guy with 2 miles saying so.
It was. They sped it up, so I mean, it wasn't. You've seen those lawn Roombas, which I'm not necessarily a fan of.
No.
Because I like the lines, right? I like the lines and then the checkerboard look. So it doesn't. It just sort of does it. We have a Roomba in the house that always gets stuck under the couch, and then you come home and you hear, and you have to lift the couch up to get it out. So I don't know how well that works. But a remote control, self-driving snowplow.
It is a good idea.
If I had all the money in the world and I had $4,000 and I could just burn it, right, I would buy that.
That's the cost of a golf cart.
Yeah.
No, that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, if it ever snowed, I would use it. And if I had $4,000 lying around or $5,000 lying around, to blow, I would buy it.
So I guess they would have like a self-driving salter as well, or does it also act as a salter?
I didn't see the salt attachment.
Because that would probably be more beneficial to this area than the snow, right? Because the ice tends to be our issue.
From the Country Club Car Wash text line, what about steps? I did not see it handle any steps. I just saw it handle the flat terrain of the driveway. So you might actually have to pick it up and put it on the driveway first.
It could be like one of those tank wheel things, right? Where
I didn't see that. I didn't see that feature in it. I just saw it pushing the snow away. 8:58 here, Big 550 KTRS. We learned 2 things today. One, there is a automated snowplow. The other thing is that Captain Paul Kopsky had a lot of walks in the park in 8th grade. St. Louis Closet Comedy Traffic Center. Here's Captain Paul Kopsky.
The good old days. An accident on eastbound 64 past 141 is causing a stop and go back up to Chesterfield Parkway, exit 19. There's a crash on eastbound 70 before Route K, blocking the 2 left lanes. Northbound 270 is heavy from Doherty Ferry to 64, and the ramp from northbound 270 to westbound 370 is closed for pavement repair. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
I'm Jill Farmer for TB Exteriors, your choice for professional roofing, gutter, siding, and windows in the St. Louis metro area. They'll help you with your roofing insurance claims for residential or commercial roofs. They're CertainTeed Select Shingle Masters and offer the highest level warranties. Right now, mention KTRS and get $500 off a full roof replacement. Call TB Exteriors at 636-362-9503 or visit tbexteriorsmo.com to schedule a free estimate.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. New Trump tariffs are in effect starting now that literally hit home.
New tariffs take effect today on kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, upholstered furniture, and lumber. The White House insists tariffs will have major economic benefits in the long term, saying, quote, while Americans may face a transition period from tariffs, the cost of tariffs will ultimately be borne by foreign exporters.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. Builders worry people are going to put off renovations or hesitate paying more for budget cabinets. With the shutdown on day 14 and American health care benefits uncertain, Democrats are wondering why President Trump is hosting Argentina's president today to give him $20 billion to prop up the economy there. Friday, Trump meets with Ukraine's president and may give him Tomahawk missiles capable of hitting Moscow, hoping to pressure Putin to capitulate. Russia hit a hospital in Kharkiv, Ukraine today, injuring 57, including elderly people. They were evacuated as flames burned the hospital. Catholic leaders in Chicago have noticed something that Cardinal Blaise Cupich finds unsettling.
Our pastors are telling us that attendance at Mass, particularly in Latino communities, is down because people are afraid to come out. That's very sad, but they're also afraid to go to grocery stores. Get medical help.
The cardinal is echoing the Pope, calling for the church to speak up for immigrants. The gunman who shot up an ICE center last month in Dallas may have been sick, says ABC's Jim Ryan.
Joshua Young, according to his own parents, was a loner obsessed with artificial intelligence. Documents obtained by the AP show the 29-year-old spent most of his time in his bedroom at his parents' house in suburban Dallas. Steam, a game distribution platform, shows Young logged more than 11,000 hours on first-person shooter and survival games before he opened fire on an immigration office.
ABC's Jim Ryan. This is ABC News.
Truck drivers, don't miss out on the unmatched consistency of a Schneider driving job. At Schneider, you can find a driving position that fits your lifestyle and goals, all while getting the pay you deserve. Plus, Schneider drivers operate state-of-the-art, well-maintained equipment and have access to award-winning benefits and a 24/7 support team. Explore Schneider's huge selection of driving jobs today and find your perfect fit at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and DogtownPizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at DogtownPizza.com.
Well, the more they're scrolling, the less they are reading. A study of kids 9 to 13 finds about 1 hour a day on TikTok, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Had test scores 1 or 2 points lower. Those spending more time on social media saw an even bigger drop, 4 to 5 points. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alok Patel.
This not only shows us that a small amount of social media can actually potentially interfere with learning, with school performance, but also that there's a dosage effect. So the more social media these kids are using, the worse they're doing.
Word today that the former University of Michigan football coach accused of hacking the accounts of thousands of female athletes and downloading their intimate photos has asked a federal judge today to throw out half the case, arguing the government is trying to, quote, turbocharge punishments for a routine crime. 6-vehicle wreck overnight. Georgia I-85. 7 people killed trapped in a Dodge van that caught fire. The Georgia State Patrol blaming the wreck on a semi-trailer that followed too closely. A gorilla at San Diego's zoo sprinted toward the viewing glass of the enclosure, hitting it so hard the glass cracked. Animal behavioralist Dr. Annie Peterson says it may not have been an aggressive reaction, and maybe it was one of excitement or exploration. Witnesses say whatever it was terrifying. The Phoenix Zoo closed today and tomorrow to recover from a sudden storm. I'm Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Health insurance can feel complicated, but Medica health plans are different. See, we're nonprofit, which means people first, not shareholders. And we're right here in St. Louis with affordable plans for local care you trust. Your doctors, your hospitals, to help you feel your best. With Medica, your health coverage can feel a bit simpler. And now, we're here for you. Medica Health Plans. You're not just covered, you're cared for.
68 degrees at 9:05. Homicide detectives have been called in after a man was found dead in a house fire in South St. Louis. Firefighters responded to a burning home along the 5900 block of Southwest Avenue at just after 5:30 this morning. Once inside, firefighters found the man's body. Fire officials say a hoarding situation made it difficult for firefighters to fight the fire. A multi-vehicle crash in Wentzville is to blame for the death of a 17-year-old Belleville boy. The Missouri Highway Patrol reports the teen was driving in the eastbound lanes of I-70 near Wentzville Parkway when he lost control and struck a recreational vehicle. This caused the teen's car to cross the median in the westbound lanes where it collided with an oncoming tractor-trailer. The teen was pronounced dead at the scene. The accident resulted in that stretch of I-70 being shut down for several hours, causing major delays in the area. The ongoing Boeing strike is delaying the fighter jet production in the St. Louis area. General Kenneth Wilsbach told the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee in written testimony that deliveries of F-15EX fighter jets had been anticipated this year, but are delayed due to the ongoing Boeing strikes. Boeing workers began walking the picket lines on August 4th. No new talks have been scheduled. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists. Place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. How can you be sure that cannabis edibles aren't mistaken for Halloween candy? The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
Cannabis items like edibles can sometimes get mistaken for sweets. Last year, Missouri passed regulations on packaging for marijuana-related products. The rules include edible packages can only be one color, but they can have up to 2 logos of different colors, and the word marijuana must be prominently printed on the outside. Cannabis experts say the key in packaging is to look for resealable packages because candy wrappers do not have resealable packages. Cannabis does. If you think a child may have consumed an edible containing THC, call the Poison Control Center hotline immediately at 800-222-1222. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow was down 380 points to 45,600. The S&P is down 68 points to 6,600. And the NASDAQ is down 345 points to 22,300. In KTRS Sports, Jimmy Snuggerud scored twice as the Blues beat the Canucks in Vancouver 5-2. It's suddenly 2 wins in a row for the Note, with the Blackhawks coming to Enterprise Center on Wednesday night. Mizzou football has flipped 2 more commitments for the class of 2026. Safety Carter Stewart backed out at Utah, while cornerback Brody Jones flipped from Cincinnati to the Tigers. Both players are listed as 3-star prospects. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic. Let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose, an accident on eastbound 64 past 141 is causing a stop and go back up to Chesterfield Parkway exit 19. There's a crash on eastbound 70 before Route K, blocking the 2 left lanes with the stop and go jam back to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And northbound 270 is heavy from Doherty Ferry to 64. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. Check out the Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account, a checklist checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. Online at neighborscu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. And KTRS weather, sunny today with a high of 83, clear tonight with an overnight low of 60, and tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 82. Currently 68 degrees. Time now is 9:09. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Concerned about where your retirement is heading? Is it on track to meet your needs and goals? Are taxes and inflation a constant worry? Well, you can join Jerry Means for What Retirement Means to You, powered by Means Financial Group, and find out how their team can help guide you to that retirement you've always dreamed of. Listen to What Retirement Means to You with Jerry Means, Sunday mornings at 10 on KTRS, The Talk of St. Louis. More details at meansfinancialgroup.com.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Meet me at the Village Bar. Ready for the world's best cheeseburger, homemade onion rings, trashed wings? It's the Village Bar for food and sports. Cards, Blues, Mizzou, NFL, the game's always on. Open 7 days a week in De Pere. Grab your friends, grab a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
When you send a text to the Big 550, do you wonder if we see all of them?
Of course we do.
We do pay attention and love your interaction on the Big 550 text line at 84126. Don't like something? Love something? Just let us know. Thanks for being a part of the KTRS family. And keep the text coming. We are the Big 550, the talk and text of St. Louis. This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
(913) Big 550 KTRS. Phone numbers are as follows: 314-931-5877, 314-931-5877. Text your pithy and interesting comments to 84126. Keep it light, keep it bright. We're looking for a text of the day. You people have failed me so far. We'll see if we can get one between now and the end of the show. Text your comments to 84126. And, of course, phone calls are always welcome. 314-931-5877. People complain I don't take enough phone calls. You got to call. Don't yell at me on the text line. Call up and let the whole city hear. Yesterday, after the show, I went and I got my flu shot, and I went and I got my COVID shot. Man, that COVID shot knocks you on your tailpipe.
How do you know it wasn't the flu shot?
Well, I've had flu shots before, and it's not that big of a deal. And they say, right, once you get the COVID shot, sometimes, it's a day or two to sort of recover. But I woke up this morning, headache, a little runny nose, just kind of feeling lethargic, a little sore all over. Yeah, that's your COVID shot at work. I was talking with Jill Farmer on the break. She's in her dressing room, if you will, getting ready for the 10 o'clock show. She has her own dressing room, and then Frank has his own dressing room. That's nice to be middays here at the Big 550 KTRS. Anyway, we were talking about, we forget how insane COVID was. I mean, really, we forget how nuts it was. I mean, think about, they just made parents homeschool, and you couldn't go into work, but if you went into a restaurant, you had to wear a mask. But if you were eating, you had to take the mask off. And you had to put the mask back on. You're leaving your table. You had to put the mask. Everybody had different rules. Everybody was screaming at everybody. I mean, we just forget how ill-prepared we were for COVID and how I don't know how we survived. I got to tell you, businesses, restaurants, humans, I don't know how we survived.
A lot of people didn't.
I believe 1 million people didn't survive, but 349 million people did. I truly believe that we have blocked COVID from our memories. We forget. We remember BC before COVID, and we remember AC after COVID. But during COVID, there's large chunks of months that I think people forget. They've just chosen to, black it out. Sandy, good morning, line 1. This should get the phones going. Sandy, good morning on the Big 550 KTRS.
Okay. Yes. I don't have any kids, but I've been on 3 Disney cruises.
Sandy, where have you been?
Well, some things have happened. Well, the Cardinals didn't do well.
No, you took to your sickbed over the Cardinals. I can understand that.
Well, kind of that.
Yeah.
And see, the other thing is, I just want to talk about the Disney.
All right.
All right. I have 5 great nieces and nephews, and they live in Oregon and Washington. And I've been on 3 cruises. And which Disney, they like the Dream and then the Wonder and then another one. Which Disney cruise are you going on? Which ship?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I think it's the Wish. I think we're going on the Wish. I think I'm going on the Wish.
Okay, well, these were
why? You know why I think of that? Because I wish it were over. That's how I think of it.
Oh, no, it's so fun. But anyway, there's the boy is the oldest, and then the boy is the youngest. But then in between, we got these 3 little ladies. But anyway, the first one we went on, Jacob, the little guy, was 9 months old. And we went on one right before COVID. Okay, we went on, let me see.
Sandy, what do I need to do to survive a Disney cruise?
Well, first of all, I think you'll survive. But the one little girl, the first time, they have pirate knives. And you gotta go up on top, and they have fireworks. And one of them got scared. And her dad said, "Oh, pirates can't climb steps." See, only one got scared. Okay, but now if you have to go to the bathroom, you go to the other end of the ship.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Well, yeah.
Sandy, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back and up and moving around. I heard some bad news. I was going to check in on you. Good to see you up and around.
Let me tell you something else. Did you ever have a safety deposit box?
I did for a short time, yes.
Well, now listen to what happened to my bank.
This ought to be good.
It is. I have a safety deposit box, and I had to get everything out. I was losing sleep over this. What am I going to do with the safety deposit? And if you don't get it out by the end of this week, I had to get it out.
Why? Was the bank going away? Why'd you have to get it out?
Because they were moving. But they just moved next door. So you had to get it out.
Well, what'd you do with all the love letters you were saving?
Well, no, but see, my tax guy said, "Well, Sandy, don't you travel a lot?" And I said, "Well, I sure do." And he said, "Well, do you have a secure place in your house?" I said, "I have a cedar closet." So he said, "Just go put them in a suitcase." Okay, now this one idiot at the bank said, I said, "How big is this?" And she said, "Well, I'm a math teacher." She said 5 by 10. I said, "No, it's bigger than that. But the other way is 1.5 feet." So last week, I did it by run. So I took a suitcase, and it didn't fit in. So I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. But anyway, I I finally took all the stuff out, and it was like I took the paperwork, well, my will and
Sandy,
stuff like that.
Sandy, I got to go.
Okay, but anyway.
I'm glad to hear you're doing better, Sandy.
Well, okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. I mean, I wanted to hear about the safety deposit box, but
not what everything is in it.
I could only do so many. I could only do so many stories. Did you know that a safety deposit box is not protected?
No.
Or not secured, I should say. That if the bank gets robbed and you have something in the safe deposit box and it gets robbed,
it's not
it's not insured. It is not insured. Why, you ask? Because
it's not money.
There's no way to know what's in the safety deposit box.
Because the bank doesn't know.
The bank doesn't know. It's a safety deposit box. And so if you've got jewels, if you've got,
your will,
$1 billion, a Rolex watch, keys to a Maserati, thousands and thousands of crypto coin, whatever else, right? It doesn't matter. They don't know. And so it's private. So there's no way to say, hey, I need to insure this, account for $250,000 with FDIC. It's a safety deposit box. So they'll hold it secure. But if somebody robs the bank and takes your safety deposit box, it's not necessarily insured. Gene, line 2. Good morning, Gene. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning, McGraw. I have a couple of things. One of the things you're talking about, COVID, and you said, you think that people have kind of just blocked that out.
Yeah.
When I was during COVID, I did something on my Facebook page called Quarantine Ramblings. Every day I'd do an update of just the crazy stuff like, wiping down your groceries and, the people at Costco who wouldn't stay 6 feet apart. And so it's kind of interesting because everything comes up on my timeline, as your memories.
So it's a sort of like a journal entry from the COVID years.
Yep.
To sort of take you back. What's the weirdest or strangest or most interesting post that you've looked back on all these years later?
I think the wiping off all of the groceries just is so bizarre to me because, you run in Dearborn for Schnucks now and you don't even, I quit wiping off the handle on my cart, which is probably crazy, but I'm not dead yet. So
isn't it? You literally, right? Somebody dropped off something. It was an Amazon package or an Instagram account or something, and you would go outside and you would wipe down the cardboard box.
I know. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a crazy time. Crazy time.
The other thing I want to ask you about, I know you're a baseball guy. I played college baseball. Did you watch the Brewers game last night with the Dodgers and see that crazy double play?
I did see that crazy double play. We were talking about it earlier this morning. What a nutty play.
I'm sorry. I just got on about half an hour ago, so I missed the discussion of
that one's one for them. That's almost as good as Merkel's boner back in the 1905, 1906 World Series, where Merkel didn't run to first base and they called him out and that whole controversy. Who's ever seen a force out from a ball that almost went out of the park for a grand slam home run? It was a force out at home. It was the nuttiest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, it was insane. It was almost like some of the umpires knew the rules, some of them didn't know the rule. It was just was very
well, all the umpires handled it correctly. The players were the ones who were running around like a Chinese fire drill.
Well, yeah, they were, and it seems like, I didn't catch the whole thing because it got cut off. It seems like one of the base coaches had told them to go back, and the other one had told them to go on.
Yeah.
Like the two base coaches for the Dodgers had differing opinions on whether they should advance or return back to their original base.
Yeah, it was a crazy. I think Ramsey said it right this morning. There's two different rules. One's for the guy who catches it and one for the guy who's running it. Once the ball touches the glove, you can go. But to catch it, you have to take it out on the transfer. So once the ball hit the glove, the guy on third could have gone. And then the fact that he officially dropped it, but didn't drop it because it hit the fence. So it
Right.
was. It wasn't. It was then it was a force out. If he would have gone when the ball hit the glove, he would have scored from third. And then the guy on second should have gone to third. Yeah, the only thing that would have made it crazier is if it were a triple play. That would have made it crazier.
Right.
Yeah. But
That would have made it totally nuts.
yeah, it
But
turns
was
out.
fun to watch.
Oh my goodness! Turns out it was a double play. Yeah, no, it was. I love the. If you go back and look at it, the center fielder for the Brewers turns to his buddy and says, "What the blank just happened?" He was in the play and he didn't know what happened. It was really kind of interesting. So, Gene, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, 1993 flood, Lee May Bank. My father was told they were waterproofing the ceiling, the bank vault. He lost everything of value. No reimbursement, right? Yeah. Hey, McGraw, you can get renter's insurance for a security box at the bank. Oh, okay. But you probably have to then disclose what's in the safety deposit box. Never keep your will or trust in a safe deposit box. You'll have to be a signer on the box to enter, and people will have to find the details. What? You got a COVID shot after whining for the last 3 months about RFK Jr. was going to make it so nobody could get it? I did not. I said he made it harder for people to get because, right, your insurance isn't necessarily going to cover it. For whatever reason, I went to Walgreens and I think they have my insurance, so I think my insurance covered it. Maybe because I'm over 55, so I'm considered elderly, I guess. I don't know why I was allowed to get it. Sandy was the best radio I've heard on this station since AM in the PM. Here's another one. Sandy was a fresh of breath air in our crazy world. Enjoy her down-to-earth realism. Nothing better than Sandy on the radio. You could have let Sandy fill in the rest of your show and gone home. Is Sandy the one that says, I'm not listening to this garbage in one of your intros? No, that's a different person, and that's Carney's intro. And keep the calls coming. Tell Sandy to go buy a fireproof safe. Good morning, McGraw. It's Susan. I have not forgotten any aspect of COVID. Never will. Had several friends die, and a lot of friends have long COVID. It was awful. I got my shot 2 weeks ago, and yes, knocked me down for a day. Thanks as always. Great program. In order to survive the Disney cruise, make sure the ship has extra Jameson. Not a bad idea. Let's break. Joe, hold on. We'll get to you here in a second. We got to go to the commercials. Let's talk about St. Mary's High School. St. Mary's HS. It's one of those great old school high schools. And you ask yourself, where does it fit into the 21st century? The Archdiocese pulled the plug, said it doesn't. But you know what? The camaraderie, the alumni, the reverence that the community had for St. Mary's, that's what saved St. Mary's. And not only did they save it, St. Mary's is thriving. South City on Grand, just past Ted Drew's, is where you find St. Mary's all-boys Catholic independent high school. They've teamed up with businesses. They've teamed up with unions. They've won a couple of state championships, all after the Archdiocese pulled their support. Class size is now increasing. And many parents have found or rediscovered St. Mary's and what they can do for your young man. When you graduate from St. Mary's, you will have skills ready for the 21st century job market, just like 50 years ago. Different skills, different time, but you will be ready to go. And the connections and the camaraderie that St. Mary's has provided all these years, still going strong. So if you're looking for an all-boys Catholic education, stmarys.hs.com could be a perfect place for your young man. Doesn't matter where you live. Kids come from all over. Illinois, St. Charles, north, south, east, west, stmarys.hs.com. Find out more. stmarys.hs.com. Captain Paul, one more go in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, there's an accident on westbound 64 at the exit ramp to 270 North, which is open. A crash on eastbound 70 before Route K is blocking the two left lanes with the stop-and-go jam back to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And the ramp from northbound 270 to westbound 370 is closed for pavement repair. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Worldwide White Technology Raceway is the only track in America to host a NASCAR event, an IndyCar event, and an NHRA event.
Don't miss the NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series and Friday night's Midnight Madness with Fall Festival and Halloween themes, including a track or treat event. Be sure to wear your best costume.
The track, under the leadership of owner Curtis Francois, continues to upgrade the race experience for fans who come from around the country. For tickets, go to WWTRaceway.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar, United Healthcare, will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with the mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
(9:32) here at Big 550 KTRS. Joe, good morning. Welcome back, Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, McGraw.
Hey,
do
Joe.
you usually get both shots at the same time every year?
So normally we invite one of the hospitals to come in and do flu shots on the show. And then the last couple of years, I think I've got the COVID shot separately. In this instance, because I'm going on the cruise, I was told, go get your flu shot. And while I was getting my flu shot, I said, I might as well get my COVID shot at the same time.
Yeah, see, you might have gotten too much junk in you, because my wife and I get it, we always get one and then wait a couple of weeks and then get the other, because I just feel like there might be just too much stuff in you.
Yeah, I'm all good. I mean, I'm fine. I just, I got a little stuffy head and little aches and pains. It's no big deal. I'm fine. But, if the doctor says you can get 2 at the same time, I believe the doctor. I'm one of those weird guys who actually believes the doctor. I don't believe Jenny McCarthy.
Or Mr. Brainworm.
Or RFK Jr., who's not a doctor. No, I usually would probably believe the doctor, but that's why I'm weird.
But usually the flu shot is the one I have an effect with. But, I'll get that really sore arm. Here's what I get. I get a sore arm for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I might get a little bit of a headache, and I feel kind of listless a little bit.
Yeah.
But the COVID shot, I don't have any problems with that. But the flu shot, depending on the formulation, because they always say it every year. Oh, we formulated a little bit different because we're anticipating different strains and all that.
Well, they kind of do that with the COVID too. And I think every time I've gotten a COVID shot, I've been pretty good about getting COVID shots. Every time I get one, I think I get a little sideways. But nature of the beast. I'd rather deal with this than deal with COVID. So.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, when you're going on that cruise again?
Friday. Right.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Steve.
I bet you.
Steve.
It's going to be. You're going to have a blast.
All details Friday or Tuesday when I'm back. Steve Savard filling in for me on Friday and Monday. Joe, thanks. Jim, line 2. Jim, good morning. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, good morning. Hey, you're talking about your shots that you got.
Yeah.
You kind of must. I think you just answered my question, but I was wondering if you had gotten the one shot that is the flu and the COVID in one, but it sounds like you got
No, I got 2 individual shots.
Yeah,
in the same arm.
And so, did you get the mRNA?
That's a good question. She asked me. She said, "Do you care which preference you get for the COVID?" And I said I didn't care. So I have to go check on the paperwork. I think I got the Moderna, which is the mRNA. So I'll be growing a third arm here in a couple weeks.
The benefit to that technology is that it was able to be produced quickly, and other than that, it was able to be produced quickly. But now that time has transpired, and they've been able to go through the standard rigorous type testing and process, you can. So I think that the ones that aren't mRNA are good, and that's the one that they combine the 2 into one. I was thinking about getting that, but you did indicate because you're over 55, you did not have to go see a doctor.
I think, and again, do not take medical advice from me. Okay. Yeah. I am not the Health and Human Secretary Director. I'm not a doctor. I barely graduated high school and college, and I tried to avoid as many science classes as humanly possible. However, with all of the shenanigans going on in Washington, the fact that they didn't endorse it, I think, meant that insurance companies don't have to cover it. However, if you're over, I think, 50 or 55 and you're under 5 or something, it's not recommended. Therefore, insurance doesn't have to pay for it. So I think since I'm over 55, insurance had to pay for it because it wasn't officially recommended by the CDC or whatever governmental agency they're playing fast and loose with.
So how much are they charging for this anyway?
They didn't charge me nothing. I went to Walgreens.
Okay.
Now, they had my insurance card on file from the radio station, so it's, so I'm sure it was, they looked me up and they had my card, so I'm sure it went on my insurance because we have insurance. So I didn't pay anything. There was no copay or anything.
Yeah. Hey, do you suspect that all this nonsense coming from that individual, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what a sad state that for our country that is. I feel like that's a total giveaway to the corporate people. Now they don't have to pay for that.
Well, I will tell you this, Jim. I will tell you this about.
And it's a racket making you have to go see a doctor. I think it's some sort of a.
I mean, I don't want to go see I don't want to go see a plumber to get a shot. I'd rather go see a doctor. I mean.
yeah, but you didn't need a doctor before. I think this is some sort of a money-making scam.
Well, look, here's the thing that cracks me up about all this vaccine talk. Before Donald Trump came along, it was a very left-wing conspiracy that vaccines caused autism. It was Jim Carrey going on Larry King. It was Jenny McCarthy singing the song, right? I knew a lot of left-wing progressives who would say, I'm not having my kids not getting any vaccines. And you would sit in there, you're like, really? You're going to take the word of Jenny McCarthy over your pediatrician? Maybe you should find a pediatrician you trust if you don't trust your pediatrician. Right? It was very left-leaning. It was very progressive, that philosophy. So much so that during COVID, if you remember, Kamala Harris when asked during the campaign, before she was vice president, was asked, would you take the shot if it comes out before the election? And she said, I don't trust Donald Trump. If it comes out before the election, they've rushed it, and I don't trust it. Right?
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And it was the October surprise. Liberals were worried that, oh, my goodness, he's going to come out with this right before the election, and that's going to tip the election, and he's going to beat Biden the first time because he's going to play fast and loose with the science. Well, it came out in December after the election, and then the liberals were like, great. Then Governor Parson took it, Mike Pence took it, Donald Trump took it, right? They made big spectacles of everybody taking the vaccine. And Donald Trump took it, and then all of a sudden,
it was his vaccine.
All of a sudden, now it's turned into a right-wing controversy. And so I don't know. So if I used to be conservative, but now I'm liberal, right? I've always believed in vaccines, and somehow I was a left-wing wacko. Now I'm a right-wing wacko. I mean, I don't understand it. It switched. It went from being very, very progressive to being very, very right-wing. So I don't understand what I'm supposed to believe.
All I got to say is, hey, people, we better get our act together because it's not looking good.
Jim, thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Hey, when we come back, can we? Do you have to break?
Yeah, let's break.
Let's break. When we come back, I got some numbers. Come December 1st, 2025, gambling will be legal in the state of Missouri for sports. There is some projected numbers in the amount of money that is going to be wagered in Missouri based on other states' take. Wait till you hear these numbers. We'll come back and talk about it here. 941 here, Big 550 KTRS. Neighbors Credit Union has bank accounts that are made for the 21st century. They're called Debit All Day, and they are designed with the 21st century in mind. They cut the fees tremendously, so where there aren't any fees, right? Lots of times you get dinged for overdraft protection, overdraft fees. They don't have those with Debit All Day. They incorporate all the digital aspects of your money, being able to use it as a debit card, use it online, use it digitally. And yes, it's a credit card, or I should say a debit card, that is beneficial, and you use it the way you would in the 21st century. Neighbors Credit Union invented Debit All Day. They went out into the community and said, what do you guys want in a checking account? And they came up with Debit All Day. So go to any one of the 8 area locations and open up a Debit All Day account and see all the benefits. It's very simple. NeighborsCU.org, 8 area locations. Started off as a credit union back in the 1920s. Since they've dropped that, and now it's open to everyone. So everybody can benefit from the great gang over there at Neighbors. 8 area locations. Ask about the Debit All Day and start saving some money. NeighborsCU.org. NeighborsCU.org.
A weekend at home or a weekend RVing? Staring at your neighbor's security lights or counting stars? Watching the Travel Channel or sitting around the campfire with friends? Break away. Get out of town in an RV from Byerly in Eureka.
For the rest of your life, you gotta be there. Byerly RV.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
St. Louis Union Station is adding to the family fun with 3 new rides in the outdoor wheel park. The Flying Louie is a swashbuckling pirate-themed ride that swings to 42.5 feet. The Locomotion is a train-themed roller coaster in the wheel park, and the Wave Swinger is a classic swing ride modeled after the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Plan your next visit to St. Louis Union Station to enjoy the new attractions with your family. For more info and tickets, go to stlouisunionstation.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Is stock market volatility and rising taxes putting your hard-earned wealth at risk? At Pioneer Wealth Management, we bring decades of experience to help you navigate an unpredictable economy. Our tailored solutions range from investments and income strategies to tax planning, insurance, and corporate risk management to meet your unique needs. Let's work together and take control of your financial future. Call us at 314-619-1283 or visit us on the web at pioneerwealthmgmt.com today.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
$9:46 here, Big 550 KTRS. All right, let's talk gambling, because come December 1st, gambling, sports-wise, will be legal. No longer will you have to drive to Kansas. No longer will you have to drive to Illinois. You can gamble in the comfort of your own living room. Oh, thank you, Lord. Whew. I was getting worried I have to keep driving somewhere else to gamble. Now you can gamble in the comfort of your own house and your own Barca Lounger. So there's a website called Bet Missouri. And if you go to betmissouri.com, what they've done is they have done a study. They've taken 5 states that are closest to Missouri in population: Maryland, Indiana, Massachusetts, Colorado, and Tennessee. Now, it's not a perfect science, and these are rough numbers because Tennessee they don't have any casinos. Missouri has casinos, so it'll be a little bit different there. Colorado, I don't know if Colorado has any fake gambling machines or not, but right, so it's not a total 1-to-1. But what they've done is they've looked at these 5 states that's similar population to Missouri, and they have done the numbers, and they figured we would be taking the third amount of money of these 5 states. So Bet Missouri looked at these 5 states, similar populations to Missouri, and extrapolated, right? Minus here, plus here. And this is what they came up with in terms of the handle that's going to run through legal gambling apps in Missouri. You ready?
Yes.
Starts December 1st. They say the first week of gambling, legal gambling here in Missouri, the total handle, total amount gambled, not the total amount won, the total amount gambled, $65.5 million.
Seems low.
The first week, 1 week, $65.5 million. You have to remember, it's sort of a lull in the sports world. There's a couple of hockey games. Maybe there's an SEC championship game. Hockey, baseball, or hockey and basketball. I don't know, right? Maybe you're betting on a couple of hockey games. Chiefs or right, whatever they're doing.
I'm looking up the Chiefs.
Okay.
See, the thing is, Sunday is November 30th, so you've got 7 days before the next game.
Right, exactly, right.
And then the Chiefs are playing.
All right.
It's a bye week.
Right. So
the Texans.
The first week, the handle projected by Bet Missouri, $65 million. The first month, December 1st through December 31st, Bet Missouri expects, right, Missourians to gamble $262.5 million.
It seems about right.
Just bet. We'll get to the payoffs here in a second. From December 1st, 2025 to November 30th, 2026. So 1 full year of legalized gambling in Missouri. BetMissouri.com believes, based on projections of population size and interest and educated guesses, Missourians will bet $3.8 billion.
Just Missouri.
Just Missouri. Now, here's the interesting part. If you're assuming the operators, right, because it's not like gambling machines where you can set it to give back 65%, but they say, the experts, they will give back anywhere from 5 to 10% of the handle, or they will make 10. Let's just say they'll make 10% on the handle, anywhere from 5 to 10%. Right? If you bet $10, you bet $10 on the Chiefs. I bet $10 against the Chiefs. They both get the vig. They both get the money. Right? To win, lose, all that type of stuff. Right? You have to pay out the winners. You have to collect from the losers. You got to break a couple legs in the process. That adds up. So they're saying they're going to make anywhere from 5 to 10% of the handle, which would be taxed at a 10% rate because the industry wrote the law.
That's what we voted
for. How generous of you to tax yourselves 10%. That's so very kind of you. If they would have written the law down in Jefferson City, maybe they could have put in 20%, 15%, 11%, but no, 10%. How generous of the industry to write that in for their own bill that they passed by 6 votes, by the way. If they take in $3.8 billion, and if the handle is $3.8 billion, and they make anywhere from 5 to 10%, then they're taxed at 10%. They are going to bring to the state coffers anywhere to 20 to 40 million. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that it's 10%. Okay, yes. that they make 10%. And of that 10%, they're taxed at 10%. Okay, that would be $40 million. But $40 million times 9 is 3. Right? They're going to make $360 million.
Yes.
Yes, that's a sweet little deal. So you get taxed $40 million, you make $360. Now you know why all they want you to do is gamble. They don't care if you win. They don't care if you lose. They just want the money to be run through. Mm-hmm. Because no matter how much money runs through, they're always taking the vig. They're always taking the goods. So they're going to make out like bandits on this deal. All legal because the final vote was in, and when it was all said and done, it passed statewide by just, I want to say it was less than 100 votes, maybe, when it was all said and done.
It was close.
The casino in Lake of the Ozarks failed. The state gambling apps, sports apps won, but when it was all said and done and everything was counted up and all the ballots came in from overseas and all the postmarks came in and everything was voted on, I think it passed by, if it was less than 100, it wasn't much more than 100, maybe 120 votes. It was a razor-thin margin. It passed, and so now we're going to have legalized sports betting. You got to wonder where that $360 million was going and now is no longer going.
Some of it was going to Kansas and Illinois.
Some of it was going to Kansas and Illinois. Some of it was going to restaurants. Some of it was going to bars. Some of it were going to
child support.
some of it were going to the bar. Some of it were going to the mortgage. Some of it were going to insurance. Some of it were going for right. But no, $360 million. It isn't like people are running from Iowa to run to gamble in Missouri. So it's basically
I think they have it too.
I think every state except I think all of the
There's 7 states around us.
All of the border states have it.
So the first game, since Sunday is the 30th, you can in Missouri, the first game you can bet on on December 1st is Monday Night Football, Giants Patriots.
Yeah, I know
which
Potter.
Is not a good date.
I know Potter. I'll have you arrested. I know Potter. I know you. You're Violet Bix. How do I know you? I don't know you. You're Violet Bix. Sorry.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Sorry. No, it's Pottersville is what it is.
Oh, yes. It's not a wonderful life.
It's not a wonderful life. It's Pottersville. I don't know how we got here. It's the camel's nose under the tent. The slippery slope argument. None better. You got to wonder what it's going to do to the illegal gambling machines, though. If the legalized gambling is going to take away, because you can bet on the pitch, you can bet on the throw, the run, the toss, the baskets, the strike. You can bet on all that stuff. Yeah, and wait till the baseball players start getting arrested for being in on it. That should be fun too. All right, what are we doing here? Let's do this. Can I tell you about Ryan Raphael and the Medicare man? We are in open enrollment. What does that mean? If you want Medicare, first of all, if you're over 65 and you have Medicare, you're in open enrollment, which means it's time to look at your plan. You can change your plan. Do you like your plan? Do you love your plan? Have you heard other plans that might sound better, but you're not sure? Call Ryan Raphael. Even if you do like your plan, call Ryan Raphael just to make sure you're in the right plan. Take 5 minutes, have a conversation with him, and if you're in the right plan, re-enroll. Maybe there's a better plan out there. Maybe there's something you're missing. If you're a veteran and you like your plan, there are better plans out there because he keeps talking about all the benefits veterans keep leaving on the table. If you're approaching 65, do you make the switch? Do you switch over? Do you not switch over? Do I stay on my spouse? Do I get off? What about, am I penalized? Am I not penalized? Again, lots of misinformation out there. Call Ryan Raphael. 314-368-6808. He's a very nice man, and he's more than happy to help you out. He's nanny approved. She loves him. And if she loves him and she takes care of him, well, we take care of him. If you take care of the nanny, we take care of you. And if it's good enough for the nanny, it's good enough for you. Ryan Raphael is the man. We're in open enrollment. Call him to find out. 314-368-6808 or MedicareManSTL.com. From the Country Club Car Wash text line, Carl needs to speak up sometime. You can barely hear him.
Sorry.
Here's another one. A great moment in history. 40 years ago, Ozzie hit the Go Crazy Folks home run. Yes. What about horse race betting? My Robinhood account is now giving me chances on all sports games. You have Monday Night Football. I just want to say that Missouri got into marijuana, killed all the drug dealers. Now they're getting into gambling, killing bookies. Who is the real criminal here? $65 million a week taken out of our economy. Yeah, it's an interesting comment, isn't it? But the taxes are going to go to the schools, so we're good. Frank and Jill come your way next. Thanks for putting up with me. We'll do it again tomorrow, starting at 6. So long.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Hi, this is Frank Cusimano from The Frank and Jill Show. Join us for Tuesday's program at 10 a.m. Dr. Rick will be with us. He'll be talking about a concept called dirty fasting. Also, Joe Holloman from the Post-Dispatch. That's The Frank and Jill Show. Weekdays on the Big 550 KTRS.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer,
Weekdays 10 to noon.
right here on KTRS.